Okay, we're live on YouTube, I think.
I can, I'm gonna do a little Instagram story quick. I don't even know how to post stories anymore. Like, Instagram has made their shit so difficult. Man, this is the thing that I fucking hate doing. All right, doing it. Doing it. Yeah, I think so. Then I just go, I think I hit this button. I gotta unmute us though first, but unmuted? Unmuted? Yeah, there we go. And then you're on too. Yeah, okay, sweet. Sweet. Well, look at that. Live on Twitch. Back live on Twitch. I tried to do some live video editing back when all this COVID stuff first happened in like March or whatever that was. Did it once. It was so fun, but it was stressful trying to like make those editing decisions live because you can't like back up really, or like, you know what I mean? You're like trying to keep it entertaining and like keep things moving, but you're also making decisions on an edit that you're getting paid to make. So it's a lot trickier that way. Today we are reviewing the footage that we shot this weekend at our Porsche shoot for Porsche Calgary. We got a Porsche Cayenne Coupe, which is this vehicle here you can see on my screen. We got it for a couple days, got to shoot some footage. I was making a commercial in Austin, fake Sora on Instagram is shooting some photos. So we had a bit of a portfolio of items we had to deliver. So we were kind of tackling that all weekend and dealing with the usual last minute push, lots of changes and stuff like that. But I'm stoked today because Austin's going to come on here in a little bit, but we have Brent on here right now. Brent is the master of shooting rollers and pursuit footage, all things motion. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sweet that we can do this together.
Yeah, this is it's very sweet to be able to like join up and combine forces for stuff like this, because it's traditionally like my niche, but you're getting into it, and then we just supply you anything that you need to.
Yeah, and it works so well because like you and I know like we've done a few jobs together recently, but like trying to do everything yourself is fucking hard. Like
Yeah.
it's just managing like that many things at once is difficult. Like having the camera mounted on the car, but then also trying to shoot other stuff. But even when we shot that off-road stuff, like I'm trying to shoot them talking and I'm thinking about the story, but we're also directing and moving all this around. So when you're working with like a gimbal rig or a setup like that, it's such a different mindset. So it's nice when you have that mindset that you can like stay in that mindset and tackle that. And then I can stay out of that mindset and tackle lots of the other details.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's better when you can just like focus on one task and do that extremely well. Having that like ability to really like pick a niche like part of the filmmaking process really helps everybody perform at their best.
Yeah, it makes such a difference that way, which is no, I like it. It works really well. We've had a lot of fun too, which is kind of sweet. So,
Yeah.
I mean, last time we were out, we didn't shoot any guns this time around, but but you never know what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah. I was
We
not expecting to shoot guns last time.
that was so wild. Like who would have thought that you'd have been firing off some whatever that was? I don't even know what kind of gun that was. What kind of gun was
I was like I don't know what kind of shotgun it was, but they had
that?
shotguns of some type. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Shotguns. Yo, Austin, what's happening? What's happening?
Not much, man. I just got back to the crib.
Nice. What were you doing today? You were working on you were
Yeah,
out shooting something.
yeah. I was doing a little bit editing for Audi this morning, and then yeah, I got a random shoot with a like a restaurant slash bar. So it's
Nice.
content because they're gonna have to go into delivery and takeout and stuff like that. So they just kind of started
Uh,
doing their socials and everything. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Sweet.
nice. I actually, yeah, I had a message today from a salon owner and she said, "Hey, are you swamped?" And I was like,
What do you think?
"Yeah, no." I was like, busy but flexible.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
what that's yeah.
It depends, right? Like, yes, I'm absolutely fucking busy. Uh, that doesn't mean I'm not available for cool new things.
That's 100% the
That's just
fucking
the way we operate, right?
yeah.
I know
Yeah,
it's funny.
exactly. We'll always figure it out later.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes, or how we like to say that it goes, anyways.
Well, like
What'd you guys
this
get up
this
to?
shoot, this was a let's see how it goes kind of shoot.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man, this was I just can't get over like being like, yeah, we're gonna meet here, shoot some rollers. We just start driving down the road, and it is just lined with cars.
That
Yeah,
was
that
the
was.
worst feeling.
I've never seen that before out there. Like that was blowing my mind the whole time, and I was just like, "Cool, we just drove an hour this way for no
Man, I
reason."
was so stressed. I was
Yeah,
so stressed. I was like, and the sun was going down, and then I was
yeah,
like, oh my God. I said to Austin, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to offer him more money and tell him that he's got to come out tomorrow, and that we're driving out to the mountains. I was like, hopefully we just nail these clips, and then it worked out in the end, which was kind of sweet, right?
yeah.
It
No,
just
that
seemed
was
like there's
perfect.
no way.
I was
Yeah.
just stressed though, like,
I think we
yeah.
would have been
So,
actually like screwed if we didn't shoot that shit.
oh man, I know there's no way.
Yeah,
Yo, what's up, Mark? Mark's in the chat.
Marky Mark?
Marky Mark.
Hey, my boy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get Mark out here on some photos pretty
Yeah, for
soon,
real.
especially for some like behind the scenes stuff because
Yeah.
there's never enough of that. And like this weekend I
hmm
tried so hard to do more. Like I put like a significant effort into Instagram stories and I still didn't do that good of a job.
Yeah, that's like what we were talking about, like having the behind the scenes shooters and whatever vlog if we're doing that as kind of
Yeah.
like another asset,
yeah.
Yeah, I think
not
we should
only
do
for
that.
ourselves but to offer.
Yo, the BTS reels, boys.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I know they go
They hit.
off, bro.
Dude, like those last two reels, did over 10,000 views for me just for those.
Really?
Like, oh yeah.
Oh my god,
Dude, it was
that's
just
so
perfect
nutty.
though, because you had like the view of the actual setup itself filming, and then you had the actual view of the camera.
Yeah,
And
and
then you have like all the setup.
we're gonna run that permanently. We're gonna have like a permanent GoPro mount on our motor crane and everything.
No,
So we just have
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
constant
you need to run.
BTS stuff.
You need to run a 360 camera.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's dope.
yeah,
Because then
we've
that way you could move from like the car that you're shooting and like spin around and see the setup.
yeah, we were. My roommate had an Insta360 one R. Is that the one that's the one that was
Oh,
like
like the
the
new one?
modular one, and it was
Yeah.
it wasn't great, and he actually just sold it recently. So we were looking at getting that other one that you have, Kurt.
Yeah. The one that I have is sick. I brought it and just didn't use it. Imagine
Oh.
that, right? Like, just like
Dude,
too many things, man. You can only juggle so much until you're just absolutely lost.
Yeah.
man, I still remember Chris when we were shooting that show back in last year or whatever. We were
Oh
outside the
my
hotel and
god.
he had like the blankets over him and he was fishing with the 360 camera and he had like that extendo pole. It was so funny. We need to find that video again.
That was literally like the funniest thing. I made it. I made it into a TikTok, I think.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, Chris had this like you can get these really long extendable poles that go like with the thing, but you can just like hold it like a fishing rod and sauce it out and it'll
Wicked.
extend all the way. And we
Yo,
were
that
standing
was
outside
that
of
was
the
like at the
street
Martin
at, like,
Garrix concert.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I forgot that I had that thing at that concert. Or
Yeah,
at
and we
that
were just
show.
fucking swinging it like
Yeah,
30 feet over all these
just
people.
saucing it.
Yeah, it's so sick.
We were standing on the road. It was like 3 in the morning, and Chris is like whipping this thing extendo mode outside the hotel. Like,
He had
oh
like
man,
a
it
dart
was,
in his mouth too with like blankets all
oh
over him. Like
yeah, he was like wrapped in blankets and shit. It was caveman
man.
status.
Yeah.
No, it was so fucking funny. Um, yeah, I just
Yeah.
like today. I just been talking about like doing live streaming and editing live streaming or live stream editing for like a minute, and I keep not doing it, and I keep putting it off. And like I have the computer for it now. I have 2 computers now. I was like, you know what? I need to just do it.
Yeah.
And then I guess like one problem I think you guys can relate to is like I always want to do it, but then I'm working on the project and I'm nervous that like the client thinks I'm further along than I am, and when they see that I'm like just starting on it a couple days before I have to finish it, that they're going to be stressed. So then I don't do it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Like if they know I'm this far behind right now, it's not going to be good. So I just never do it. And I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. We just shot this stuff. Like
Yeah.
Got
at
some time.
the very least, like the 3 of us get to like look back on some of the clips and shit like that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then talk about it. And then I'm recording all this too. So I'll probably like rip a couple clips out of here and post on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, just fun and just see how it goes. But then maybe this project I might like work on the whole thing kind of on live stream or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Like we
Just
talked about
playing with
too.
it.
Yeah, like we talked about too. I want to like do the live streaming of like editing all the photos and like deliverables and stuff. So once I, like,
Yeah.
once I pick all those and like get Jonathan's selection or whatever, yeah, maybe we could like all hop into and then I don't know, figure
Yeah,
out
I'm
something
down.
where we can involve everybody. It'd be kind of
Well,
cool.
it'd be cool for you. I want to see like your process on editing those photos and stuff.
Yeah, that way I don't have to
'Cause
make
I'm
a
like,
tutorial
man.
because that stresses me out. And I know I
Honestly,
said I
like
would, but
making dude, I can't make a tutorial. It's so
yeah,
much work. But if I just live stream and I just record it,
exactly.
it's way better because you're not like second guessing yourself. You like can't go back and like repeat the shit that you say and whatever, right? So it's like
Yeah,
you kind of
and
just
you're
stick
not
to it.
thinking hard about like how to make a tutorial. You're just doing your workflow, and like that's like how like I feel like if I
Yeah,
tried to make a
exactly.
tutorial, I would end up with like not a product that I'm happy with, as if
No,
I sat down and edited it like off stream or something, or like
every
off.
every time I've done that, it sucked.
Yeah,
I just like sat there stressed about everything I said. I'm like, oh no. Whereas this is no different than any regular night where we're hanging out in Discord just editing and chat
exactly.
shit. It was like 3 a.m. last night, and Chris was editing this like multicam video, and he was streaming it to me on Discord, and I had it full screen on my computer, and I was just like watching him edit and doing my thing before bed, and I just tell him, I'm like, yeah, I was like, yo, it's like I'm watching like YouTube right now. I
Yeah,
could just watch this all night. Like I gotta go, man. I gotta go to bed.
it's actually sick. Like I really enjoy it, honestly.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I think we'll
Yeah,
do more, but yeah, I don't know. I guess
You guys want to roll through
so
some
like I don't
stuff?
know. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was just gonna tell Brent like I don't know if I told you, but like I had this really good idea to do like this like in this really like filmy commercial with like telling a story and everything in it. I had this good idea. I'm not gonna say what it is because we're gonna do it again yet. But with the new restrictions and everything, and just like lack of time and like we had lots to deliver, and Austin has lots like his photos were more important than the video, so
Mm-hmm.
we just decided to strip it down and just make this as simple as possible because you can only fit so much in, and then we're adding actors in, and we don't have a huge budget to pay them and stuff like that. So I really
Yeah.
wanted to just strip it down to like the idea at first was to have it like just the car.
Yeah.
So like the car was gonna start at the dealership, sunrise at the dealership, and then drive out to Banff, and then find the nice spot to park it out there. Because my deliverable is only 30 seconds, and that includes the end card, which is like their logo and stuff,
Yeah.
which they're sending me to. So that makes it that a little bit easier. But I guess the idea was just that I really just wanted to like trim it down and let the car be the hero on this one. But what ended up happening is when we got to the sunset, or the sunrise the one morning, it looked cool when Austin hopped out of the car, and I was like, all right, let's roll with it, and we'll have you come out and walk down here. So whether we use it, I don't know. The good news is we're only down to 30 seconds, which is nice. So with the
Perfect.
30 seconds, we can kind of play with the footage that we have. I don't have to come in with like anything super strict, right?
Sweet.
Yeah, it makes it less stressful for sure.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I have all these clips here. I'm just gonna toss like a light grade on them, just so we can see what they look like rather than looking in the log there.
Just for
Um,
everybody watching the 403 Media stream right now, this is all Kurt's screen. So basically, I'm just sharing everything that he's doing. He's got his stream up on Twitch right now, too. Um, but we're just going to be following along. This is all the pursuit vehicle stuff that Logan, Austin, and I shot of Kurt driving the Cayenne the other day. So, yeah.
yeah, I was
Oh yeah.
pumped because I was like, I kind of started my modeling career this weekend.
Well,
I was
glad
gonna
better.
post and say that I'm now available for hire. You can pay me, and I will come and drive your nice whip while these guys take good pictures and videos
Well,
and shit
you
of it.
you guys are officially stunt drivers now.
Yeah. Oh,
Apparently,
yeah. See, I guess. Yeah. Stunt
Yeah.
driver. I didn't
added to
look
the
at it like
resume.
that. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right for sure. So this is the timeline with this stuff in here. We shot for how long did we shoot for? Like
Like an hour and a half.
an hour and a half, whatever. We're
Hmm.
sitting at start to finish. Obviously, not everything's pulled and usable at 49 minutes. This is all 50% speed. 24 frames per second timeline, 48 frames per second clips. So it comes through half speed, so it'll play back slow motion. And this was shot on Brent's Kinfinity 4K,
Terra 4K.
correct?
Yeah.
Terra 4K. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what mode do you shoot in? Like what did you shoot this in? Like is there any specific settings or anything like that?
Uh,
Like
this was just ProRes 422. So it's just
okay.
like it's their 10-bit codec.
Yeah.
Um, we could have shot 444, but that's their 12-bit. That's just like
Yeah.
the ProRes 12-bit. But once you start shooting, I think DCI, like 4K DCI 444, only gets you 39 minutes of space at 24 frames per second on a 500 gig card. So
My God.
yeah, so we would have been pushing. It's just like for something like this, it wasn't necessary to shoot in like a 12-bit codec.
Right.
The amount you can get out of 422 is just insane already. So depends on what the project is. It has to be something super special to shoot those like crazy high bitrate
Yeah,
codecs.
and you got to have like it in that I think what a lot of people get mixed up is like a higher bit rate doesn't necessarily mean that you have more dynamic range.
Exactly. Yeah, the camera's got
Um,
its set dynamic range. Um, you still have to expose it properly and everything. It just allows you to maybe play with it a little bit more, but If you can,
Yeah. It gives you more to like push and pull the colors.
yeah.
And to like save it a little bit, but it doesn't give you more dynamic range. And I think a lot of people get that mixed up. Like the Sony shoot 8-bit, just because they have 10-bit doesn't mean you have more dynamic range. What it does mean is you have more play with it. So in a sense, it might feel like more dynamic range, but it just means that you have more leverage while pulling it. You're like your highest highs and your lowest lows are still the same. So,
Yeah.
yo, what's up, Joe? Now, Jono765. Man, I could not read people's names. Like that would throw me for a loop. Yeah, the Kinfinity camera. This is like the third time I think that I've had to grade the footage. The first time was like a music festival stuff.
Yeah.
At night, and I mean it was great. Like this thing. Oh, you got to talk about it. It has dual ISO
Oh
sensitivity.
yeah, so it's got it. That's like the main thing that Kin Infinity like crushes with their cameras. Is they run, not every single one does, but the Terra 4K and the Mavo LF both have dual native ISOs, and so what that means is that it's got an 800 base ISO, and then it also has a 3200 base ISO. So um, anything under 800 or above 800 up to 3200 will base off of the 800 ISO for your noise and everything. So
Right.
so as you go up to 3200 and you have now that second native ISO for low light applications, you're essentially going to get the same like low light noise quality as you would at 800 ISO at 3200, which is pretty cool. So it makes it a low light monster because you can get clean footage up to 6,000-7,000 ISO, and then the Mavo LF is gnarly because it's got an 800 and 5200 base ISOs. So
Oh, 5200. Dude, that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, people
Crazy.
shoot like 10,000 plus on that thing clean all the time, and it's just
Oh man.
it's like the A7S of
Yeah.
cinema cameras, other than the
Damn.
FX6.
Yeah, like that. Or a Gemini.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
red Gemini.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I just don't have that I really miss. But I guess that's why I have a Sony, right? You can just see in the dark. But I
Yeah.
was saying, yeah, we worked with Brent's footage a couple times now. It has the ability to shoot raw, but honestly, I don't miss it when I grade your footage.
Yeah.
Like I'll look at something and I'll be like, hey, this is like we'll pull this clip up right here. And let me just get rid of everything. I want to see. I'm just clicking the wrong buttons.
Man, the
So
lighting
this is
was so tough to deal with on that shoot too, because we were either shooting like in direct shade or
yeah.
straight into the sun also, and then you're trying to expose a black car against the sunset. So
Yeah, it's really tricky. And especially like when we're just driving and we're dealing with gaps in the road and like the sun was so low, so it's like coming out here and there.
yeah.
But like just for some people, like this is what the footage looks like when it comes out of camera. So some people look at that and be like, "What?" But this is where we work our magic. Add a conversion Lut, which is just like a little preset that kind of helps brings things back. What I've been using on his stuff is I've been using the Ari Alexa log C to Rec 709 as kind of like
Yeah.
the base point.
That's like
But
the way to go.
yeah, I wouldn't need it, but it does save some time when you're doing quick grades like this. I have someone, his name is Jake. He's gonna do some grading on this stuff for me. He's insanely good. Talk about that when that comes around, but that's cool. So this is like the little node tree that we have set up doing quick grades here. Oh, I see. Oh, Jonathan from Porsche. Yo, what's up, Jonathan? Jonathan is the guy that hooked us up with the car and let us rip it around for the weekend and have all the fun and get all these crazy shots. He has such a horrible job hanging out with all those cars all the time. I don't know how he does it. So yeah, this is like a really quick grade on here. Some exposure adjustments, saturation, look, which I don't even think I added. I added like a little LUT on there just to check it out quick. But you can see there's a lot of movement here. So like in this exposure, like I have that done, but this is what it looks like. But just simple by like playing with the curves, you can pull your colors back
So
and
Kurt, I'll
push your
just
sun.
ask, like maybe for people like watching and stuff like that, like why
Yeah.
do you make all those different nodes instead of just doing it on one?
Okay, so I use multiple nodes because I like to separate my adjustments. So that way when I'm going back, because they stack on top of each other. So essentially it goes from like the noise reduction node to exposure, saturation, to a look, conversion LUT. There's a hue verse mixed in here, which what I can do is like adjust, say I need to change the color of the blues in the sky. I can do that on this hue. I could go here. This is getting like fairly nerdy, but like a hue versus hue, and I can grab, say, like blue, put a couple dots on here, and now I can affect just the blues. So making those changes. The one thing I noticed with like Brent's camera when we did the last shoot with Stomping Ground, we shot this like 4x4 vehicle. The thing was my camera, like the red displayed the color red, very, very red, versus his camera was like a little bit more orange.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you wouldn't know unless you were like comparing the two side by side. Like you'd have just figured that was the color. But that's where I went into like this hue versus hue and could change specifically the colors that I needed to like match the cameras exactly.
That's literally the biggest downfall of the Terra 4K is the all the orange hues. Anything red is just gonna be orange, and if you get used to grading it, then it's fine to deal with. But I've definitely talked to other filmmakers that shoot with the Terra 4K that their colorists, or when they deliver footage, just curse at them for
They're like,
for
what is
all
going on?
Yeah, it's like the image is great, but everything is orange that's supposed to be red. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's you just like I don't know, it's so weird that way. Like but to me, and that's where everyone talks about like Canons have better color science, Canons look better than Sony and stuff like that. But honestly, if you know how to grade, you can fix all that stuff anyways. So yeah, it could be a downfall, but I mean, if you're shooting it all with that camera, it really doesn't matter anyway, right?
Yeah, if you know that you have to compensate for it, and like I just have a layer essentially that I throw on strictly, or like an adjustment layer, because I edit in Premiere right now, but that's strictly just to correct for oranges to reds, and that's a really easy thing to just like slap on, and then you're done with those.
Yeah, it kind of just like becomes part of the process, right?
Yeah.
Yo, Janae, thank you. I'm glad we are impressing you. I'm sure all of our knowledge, our video lingo is making sense to those people who don't know anything about this.
It's like what is going on right now?
A bit technical, but yeah, essentially awesome. Like I was saying, like just these different nodes. I just do different things in different nodes so that it's easy to go back. So like when I go back to this picture right here, and I'm like, ooh, I want to bring the blacks up. I just go exposure, and I go right here, and then and I know exactly what I'm looking for, and then you can get like pretty dialed. So I do most stuff like in the curves these days, and then you can obviously like play with everything and down in here too as well. But yeah, I mean this camera, like it has so much pull with ProRes. Like you don't necessarily need it like that, or need the raw. I mean it has so much data, like adjusting the color temperature right here honestly looks no different than when I'm adjusting it in my raw. So very surprised. I've always been impressed with this camera. Every time I see the footage, I'm like, hell yeah. And it matches up with the red, with my red stuff just really well. I like the look. Most importantly, Brent is insanely happy with his camera, right? So
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
all
it's
that
like
matters.
I think we had that conversation like probably a year ago, where we were talking about where often I mean certain times the client will want a specific camera, a specific look or whatever, but rarely is that the case. Usually it's the filmmaker, the DP, or whoever is really wants control over the look, and it's if you're happy with it, allows you to do the things that you want to do, and the client isn't going to be able to tell the difference if it was shot on a Sony or a Red or a Kinefinity or a Blackmagic or anything, but it allows you to do exactly what you want. So
yeah, that's exactly. And I mean, some of us torture ourselves. Some of us use cameras we don't need to be using that just make everything that much more work and that much more expensive. But there's just little things, right? Like some things motivate people. So yeah, let's look at some of this footage though. Starting out, you can see you got a nice clip of the car sitting here. Austin, I don't know
Just
what Austin's
admiring it.
doing.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
I'm on my phone. That's I'm on my phone here. Yeah, we're probably just admiring things. We're all stoked because we're pulled on the side of the road. We
I
finally
think we
have
were
some room
cleaning
to
it at
get some
that point.
shots. Yeah, wiping it off. That is like, okay, that is one thing that I'm like, oh man, I don't know how we deal with that. How do you
Yeah.
keep this car clean
Dude, black
while
cars,
shooting
man,
this
that's
stuff?
literally a nightmare. Like every like actual shoot I do, it always ends up being a black car. I swear to God, like every time.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know
so
how you do
frustrating.
it. Like it's so hard because if the sun is shining onto the car and you're shooting, like say the sun's like to our back and the car's in front of us and we're like getting that shot,
Yeah,
you can see every water droplet,
Mm-hmm.
every piece
literally.
of dust ever. So I guess like the main trick in what we did was I kept the sun behind the car a lot and used the sun flares to really hide the imperfections
Yeah.
in how dirty things were and just mask that because
Yeah,
I mean, ideally, I guess like you just pay someone that comes and keeps it clean constantly.
yeah, like a
But
detail.
Yeah.
yeah, but that would be
It's where
hard,
they're
like
doing it.
doing that and filming and everything. I don't know. I mean, I felt like I was trying to keep it clean, and then I'm looking at the footage and I'm like, oh man,
Like
that could have been
I
better.
only got
Oh
half the
man.
door. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, you can see my white mark right there. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, in this shot, you know how you can see like those cars on the left-hand side? On that other road we were on, like the first road that we went to, the entire highway was filled with cars on the side of the road
Dude,
like
and
that.
not even just like those guys are off in the
Yeah,
ditch
they're
at
in the
least.
ditch.
The
They're on the
when
road.
we were over by Elbow Falls, those guys half of them were half in the lane. Like it was brutal. There was
Yeah.
thousands of cars out there. It was
It was
ridiculous.
dangerous. It was
Yeah.
dangerous, honestly.
I don't know how
Like,
there's any
no,
trees left in that forest, man.
yeah. Yeah,
Seriously.
I think all of Calgary was picking up Christmas trees. So,
Yeah.
I was mad. I mean, when we came around this corner and found this area and the sun poked out, I was like, "Holy shit, here we go."
Yeah.
Because we were literally like the sun was dropping down and we were literally just chasing it. Like
Mhm.
which I mean, in the end, like it works so much better anyways, right? Like what does Jonathan say? I washed the thing twice and just for hours, such a mess. And the roof rack. Oh, I know, man, the drips that come off the roof rack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we washed this thing a few times. Like, I mean, we did what we could, but I guess there's lots of tricks. I mean, photos, it's a little bit easier
Yeah.
because
I can
you can,
stamp that up. I can do whatever,
yeah,
but video, you're kind of stuck with it.
yeah, and I'm in the reflections and stuff. Yo, what's up, Mason?
Hey, that's Mason.
Mason's in the chat. Yeah, Ghetto
Mason, what's up, bro?
Soldier. What's up? What's up?
Bro.
So let's dig through some of this footage here. This is the very first shot, kind of just getting things set up. I remember we were shooting for a sec and then we pulled over and restarted. But I do like this section right here. So for those watching, like the thing like this is like when we don't have a huge budget, like we can't shut these roads down and stuff. And that is like it's unrealistic.
Mhm.
Um I don't even know where I would start with closing down a road, and I don't think we would be able to get a road like this closed down for
Well,
probably less
we
than like
did
thousands.
we had to deal with that with a shoot back in September. Um, it was mostly for the sake of our aerial team that needed
Yeah, yeah.
permits and whatnot to be able to fly and like take off in the area. But we ended up actually basically going through the entire process of getting permits and whatnot to shoot on the road, and I'd never done that. Everything we had shot was always super guerrilla style and everything,
Yeah,
kind of like what we did for this one. But
yeah.
I ended up with all the contact info for people at Alberta Transport to be able to. There's lots of different types of like permits you can get for on highway filming. Like you can get one that
Okay.
basically just is like a permit that allows you to film on highway, but you have to follow the standard highway rules.
Yeah.
And then there's another permit that basically, and that one was free actually. It was all we had to do is like show proof of insurance, and
Really?
it was super chill. And they actually expedited our application. Usually it's like a 2 week application process, and we got it in like 3 days, which was super
That's
crazy.
dope.
And then there's another one where you can do like periodic closures. So you can do like up to 5 minute closure or 5 or 10 minute closures.
Right.
For that, you need like flag people. You need communications, like everything.
Yeah,
It
like
needs
a
to be a
whole team.
little bit more of a plan. Like certified flag people and whatnot. And
Yeah.
then there's like extended road closures where you would have hour plus potentially like a full day of road closure where then you need a police presence at that point. So the permits to do it aren't actually that expensive. It's just or they're either free or they're super inexpensive. Might be like 100 $200. But it's the paying everybody who needs to be there to do it properly
Yeah.
that can get
Right.
expensive. Yeah.
Like making their time worth it, and
Well, it's just like you need
yeah.
to. The police might have a base rate of. They might just say we gotta charge a full day rate, even if you're only out there for 3 or 4 hours, kind of thing. Or you
Yeah.
need to be charging, or you need to pay for a flag person or anything. So, um,
Right.
it's
It adds up.
generally like that's for the much higher level productions, and then once you're closing roads down, then the highway rules don't really apply as strictly, and that's where you start to see videos of cars drifting on public roads and what look like public roads, but those roads are actually closed down. So that's
Right. Right.
they're not actually going and stunting and whatnot on an open public road, where maybe the public
I
might
feel
see that.
that.
But usually you'll see like at the bottom it'll be like closed road, stunt driver, all that stuff.
Right.
See,
But
and
I mean,
I don't think that's like out of our realm of work because there are roads that will be a lot easier to close than others. Like I know Austin
totally.
and I were on a few roads back out there that, yeah, we could totally get done for the day. It's just working with like what you have. And I will say like Austin and I talked about this a lot, but I think one of the reasons we are successful at what we do and we're good at what we do is because we can work within the restraints and the confinements. We're on a road. This was Saturday. It was busy. It was what it was. We didn't have any other time. We had to work with what we had, right? And you just kind of have to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't need super long clips or anything. Like right now, what I'm kind of doing is I'm just pulling through and I'm just cutting out stuff that is usable. So I'm waiting for sections where there's no cars or
Yeah.
sections where I can cut things out.
So I guess
Like I'm looking like right here.
since
I
you
could
can
probably
see
like
the
mask these out, zoom
since you,
in a little bit, kind of crop it and whatever. But
we should point out kind of like how we were doing these, because we like how we're able to shoot like a consistent roller like that,
yeah, do you
and
want to talk
not
about that?
really.
And I'll trim through this.
Yeah, so like go back to the shadow there, just like at the start of the clip that you had, and you can kind of see what the rig looks like. Um,
Yeah. Let's go down. So I wonder if I could probably figure out how to pull this up or something. Couple things. Yo, Jonathan, maybe one day when we get a budget, we can legit do it one day. Yeah, man. I mean, like we can just do more, right? The more we can do more, we can do more, we can do more. It just we try to work within what we're given. This works. This was the road that we had. This is the time that we had. We could find more things next time. I think the first time we work together, I always say it's like a really good learning experience. Like
mhm.
I know I learned a lot this weekend. I know what I would need to go into things next time. Um, this is my first time doing like rollers with the car rig. I've done rollers a couple times before, but last time I was shooting rollers for Austin, I was hanging out the back of my Jeep with my feet hooked onto the back of the seat going like 90K. It was terrible.
And I'm
I
like a
I
foot
do
away
not.
from your
Yeah,
face
and
in my
Austin's
car.
like a foot away, so if I fall out, like I would have died. And I'm like, I'm not doing that again. That's just like way too sketchy.
Yeah.
Brent pulled through. They were doing testing on his new rig, which was dope. So what there is there's a bunch of rail that he has clamped along his car in a few different places, and then there's an arm that has like a shock on it, like that would be on like the back of your bike or something like that. That allows his arm to flex a little bit, and then at the end of that, he has his new gimbal, which is the Ronin 2,
Mhm.
that mounts his camera on there, and this is all completely controlled from the inside of the car. So it's 100% legal. It's 100% safe. We're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Everyone's buckled in. Everyone's masked up. Like we did it the legit way. So even though I would consider this more of like a run and gun style, we definitely weren't illegal in any way, which was nice, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it allows you to just like get in and out quicker also to areas, and you're not attracting unwanted attention. I mean, the having gaffing all over your car and having an arm sticking a few feet off the back maybe is attracting a little bit of attention, but not to the same amount as having someone hanging out of a window or hanging out the back of a car would do. And we're also able to now drive at the normal speed of traffic too. So we're not cruising at we're not slowing down anybody. We're not doing anything like wild. We're staying at the, I think it was 90 kilometers an hour pace that everybody else was going.
yeah, staying at the speed limit,
and then
kind
the
of just
only
like searching for gaps.
yeah, exactly. And then if there was an open lane change spot where there's no oncoming traffic, then you go into the other lane and shoot some 3/4 angles and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, this is a really casual, safe way to shoot the rolling footage that we needed to do. And if you get into like the more intense stuff, then yeah, then you start to need permits and whatnot. But we have yet to have any. We've been shooting rollers with this setup now since May, and have yet to have anybody say anything about it. So
Yeah,
I can
we
just
got
say, like,
we got
being in that car and like experiencing that way of shooting rollers and stuff. Like, there's no way I'm ever hanging out of a car again. Like, no way.
only when I can't afford Brent.
Which is probably gonna be pretty often, eh?
I'll be like, Brent, bro, I'm gonna hang out the car. You gotta come save me, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh my
Guilt
god,
trip.
yeah. I just gotta hit this chat quick. Yeah, we got Jake in here. So Jake is the guy who's gonna do the coloring. Jake's colored something for me before. He's been doing YouTube videos. His shit is it's fucking awesome. Just to say, like, he's gotten really good. His YouTube videos, he like legitimately, like, it looks like he's been doing YouTube for years. Like, I think he's built for it. So I'm super stoked on that. And like the way I have like my node tree set up in here in Resolve is the way that he has it done. So no, but he's gonna hop on this and do some color, so I'm excited about that. But he said, I'm so glad you're editing in Resolve. Yeah, man. It's just more comfortable than Premiere now, but I jump back and forth between both. Kind of depends. So then we got MBP said, just be careful on that road. Received a fine once for shooting after the fact and a stern warning another time. Not with any external camera rig or anything. Simply stopped and a small stills production with a crew of 3 people.
That's
Damn.
that's like pretty normal for Kananaskis. Like they're strict about shooting if you're actually like kind of like what looks like a locked off crew. I've heard about that a few times of people getting in trouble like that. I mean, we were so in and out. Like we spent no more than an hour in the park. Like we drove
so
in and
quick.
drove out. So maybe if we happened to pass a park ranger or something, but the chance that somebody's even going to notice what is even happening with this car, they'd have to they'd either have to be behind us or be
like
really
kinda pull
paying
up on
attention
us.
the other direction. So
Because even if they drove past, I think they would drive right by. But that's a good point. I appreciate the insight there. I think like we'll look into the film permit. Yeah, we received a fine based on the content created after the fact was mailed to the client who the vehicle's registry was a lack of commercial permits in provincial park. Oh damn. Yeah. Well, that's something we should look into then, especially for next time.
Totally.
And get that sorted. But I like that. I mean, Brant was just talking about that that permit there. So I know some areas are worse than others, but in all reality, there's probably going to be like a few seconds worth of this anyway. So hopefully we're good. If we're not good, I'll have to get that sorted out. But you gotta learn one way, right? There's only one way. I mean, you sit on Google, you can't find any of this shit ever.
Yeah.
Like it's just ridiculous.
You know what? Sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
I had a cop literally tell me that when I asked for a permit for a site to film a music video.
Yeah.
Because the peace officer was like not having it, threatened us to like fine us and stuff, and I called the police department, and he's like, "Listen, I didn't say this, but sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission." So
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, man, came from you." So
yeah, no shit, right? And then, okay, Christine says Brent saved the day. Yeah, Brent literally came in so clutch on this. Like I was prepared to hang out the back of the car on some like side road, but we got to do like some good speed, some real road stuff. So it came together. I'm forever grateful for Brent. Brent's been pulling through like a madman for me recently.
Gotta
So
gotta shout out the rest of the
Animal.
Black House guys because we got like
yeah.
Logan
Oh,
and
and
everybody.
everyone. Sorry.
Yeah.
When I talk Brent, I talk Brent like the team leader of those guys. So
Yeah. No,
Jonathan
because it's
says,
by no
Yeah,
means
Logan,
a
insane
solo
focus
thing.
puller.
Yeah.
yeah, and look, insane focusing. I know it's just so money. I'm just so pumped on this stuff, right? Like, John says, amazing way you guys manage Porsche Canada is properly impressed. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's just a good opportunity. We're just trying to make what we can make, right? Like I said, and I don't just mean like more budget necessarily, but just planning time. I guess the big thing would be we're just so restricted right now, right? Like we can only do what we can do, trying to stay safe, trying to keep things fairly low key,
Yeah.
just stay out of trouble rather than just being like, hey, we got to cancel the shoot and we can't do this right now. So I'm glad we still got to make this work. Leah says, looks dope, guys. Can't wait to see the finished edit. I know, I'm so excited to see the edit. Like, look, the footage is just so good and it's so nice to look at. So now I'm stressed out because I'm like, I don't want to fuck it up, you know? That's the one thing. John says, we got a warning with the drone in Kananaskis too. It was up for a little minute. Ranger passed by on his way to work in a civilian car. Yeah, man, the drone stuff is like, the drone
Ugh.
stuff is sketchy. I didn't
Yo,
fly a
drones
drone
are
this time.
sus.
It's
Sus.
just like you don't want to put it
Don't
up. You don't want to get in trouble with it. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that takes the airplane down. Anything. Um, I took my drone class, so I did paid a chunk of change, took it. It's essentially flight school, so like I could practically fly a plane. Like I could go take my pilot's license, like the written portion. I just never completed the test and the in-person thing because it's just a lot of work. Just
Mhm.
flying legally, like you have to pre-book your flight like way ahead of time and stuff like that too. And I'm like, I can't predict the wind around here. It's too windy. And at the same time, like I was saying before, like we're already doing so much. We got so much on the go. I just can't manage balancing that on top of doing the whole production and the shooting anyway. I'll hire that out where need be, or like on the stomping ground shoot when we're in the middle of nowhere, I just yoss it up quick and get a few shots. What drones do we generally use? I have the Mavic Pro, like the very first one. I had an Inspire before that, and then I had like a one that held a GoPro on before that even. I love the drone, like the shots are so good and everything, but it's just such a pain in the ass to fly. So and also carry, like I really liked the Inspire. The Inspire was huge. It worked really well. It flew really fast. It was hard to fly because it actually flew so fast, but it was really good. But it was just a big case, and like I don't know, anyone in here who like knows me and has seen me travel and carry like 4 cases, or no, not even four. Sorry, like 4 bags, 4 or 5 separate times, like back in and out of the hotel room. I'm just not going to carry that drone and I'm not going to use it. So the Mavic Pro was kind of that one that worked for me where it could fit in my bag. I could pull it out when I need it. Plus, it was super low key. I could launch it. I can launch it out of the sunroof in my car and then land it back on the roof and pull it inside and drive away before anyone knows I was there. So that's kind of the goal with that. But yeah, have some friends with some other drones. Have some friends with some big drones. There's guys out there that have drones that can fly our gimbals and our cameras. Yeah, I mean, like you can do anything, but you're kind of just limited to resources, time, money, permits. Like if you just balance it all, the budget just starts to build substantially. So, Jay says, "Hey, gents, want to jump in? Say hi, epic shoot, keep killing it. Can't wait for our next shoot." Yeah, what's up, Jay? Jay is from Stomping Ground. The three of us have worked on a Stomping Ground shoot previously. We did the snow one. I haven't posted a bunch of that on my Instagram yet because I have a good idea. I'm making a little collage thing with everything we shot, but Stomping Ground, just shout out Stomping Ground quick. They're a off-road outdoor lifestyle company based in Alberta. They have gear and lifestyle gear and stuff like that. But what they really do is for every $25 you spend on their website, you get an entry into their giveaway. And their giveaways are fucking insane. Like they give away like bikes, Yeti packages, clothing, all sorts of stuff. But then they go up and they do like side by sides and shit. So like
Yeah.
this last time they gave away this like Polaris General side by side, and this thing is a fucking beast. Like, like I can't believe every time I see these things, I'm like, what the fuck? And the one before we shot it in the mud.
Well, that
And
was
yeah, they're unreal. So, Those
A lot
guys
of
are
fun.
sweet.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
such fun shoots. Like we were out there shooting guns last time. Brent said to me, he was like, I didn't expect to come out here and shoot guns. So
Was not
that
expecting
was
that.
yeah, that was pretty sweet. So we got to do that. The stomping ground shoots are fun. Yeah, I think next time we might be doing a snowmobile one or something. So
Mm.
that's cool. I definitely want to shoot as much stuff like this as possible this year because our usual like music festivals and stuff are just out of question right now, right? So it's like where do we get that adrenaline and speed rush from? And I think it's from shooting this because we can do it safely. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can keep doing more. But yeah, what else are we at? I guess we're just pulling clips, just looking around. Oh, I like this section right here too.
Yeah. That's
Once like kind of when those cars behind. So keep in mind too is like what I'll probably do is when I'll pull in like the exact clips that I want, I'll mask anything out that I don't want to see if I can do it and it looks okay. For the most part, the clips are probably so short that it's probably fine. But like I could easily get rid of the red on this taillight here and you would never see that car, but small details. So I would go right here and I would just cut it right there, right before that car comes in. This is kind of my process. So what I'll do is I'll go through all the clips and I'll pull like all the usable stuff. So then I end up left with a timeline of just the things that I can use. So what I'll actually do like for this and moving forward is like I'm gonna cut all the clips that I need and then I'm gonna export that as individual clips and this is what I'm gonna archive. So rather than archiving the raw footage with like a bunch of stuff that like with a bunch of extra clips that I don't need that I'm sorting through later, I just don't want to have to look at that. So I'll just pre-trim this ahead of time and then I'll do that for all the clips and then I'll end up with like a much smaller size. Gun rack on the 911 next. Oh dude, I'm so down. Don't test
yes.
me.
Yes.
We can do this. We can make it work. Make it work.
John, don't play with me right now, man.
Yeah. Don't no jokes though. Like
Yeah.
this is legit. I kind of like this movement right here. This like left to right before the car comes in, especially at full speed. So I would just like cut right there right before this thing comes in. And I won't trim like everything. I'm kind of just showing you guys how I would do it, but let's just roll through and watch a bunch of this. So Brent kind of like here's a spot where he finally got to hit the other lane and do a 3/4 shot. So
Mm-hmm.
what we do is we gotta wait for there's a long passing stretch where you can see that there's no one ahead of you. And what they do is Brent will pull, or Brent, I guess Austin was driving. Austin will pull into the other lane, and I try to pull up so that they can get shots like this. So
Yeah.
we'll wait for that car to move
So
there. I'll
that
cut it right here.
so that would be called a 3/4 angle. So we'd be shooting a front three
Okay.
quarter. You'd call that a front left 3/4, which is just a standard camera photography or filming term that you need to make sure is like as a pursuit vehicle filmmaker. That you've communicated with with your picture car and everything. So, because I've definitely been on shoots before where I asked the picture car to come. Hey, can you come up 3/4 on me? And they had no idea what that meant. They came up three. They thought it
They
meant
don't.
3/4 of a car length away, kind of thing, right behind. And so that's definitely a. These are like key communication points. Unfortunately, because the shoot was so impromptu, I didn't bring any of our radios and there's no service here. So we were just hoping that Curtis was gonna know what to do
I
and
mean, no limits to my insanity, guys. Porsche tech equipment is wild. Dude, I'm down. Yeah, that was the thing that I really missed this time is we just didn't have cell phone service, so we couldn't talk to each other.
yeah.
But luckily, I think the way like the reason why this worked out so well is because I think Brant and I had a similar vision of what we were trying to achieve. He knew what I was making. He specializes in this stuff. And when you work with people like that, you kind of just have you kind of have that trust. You both know what you're looking for. So
Yeah.
whenever they moved over and waved up, I would just like rip up. And other than that, we kept it like fairly just fairly safe. But like again, the road was just really busy. We were working
Mm-hmm.
with what we had. So here's like a nice long stretch where we have some usable stuff. So here's that 3/4 shot he was talking about. I like stuff like this.
Yeah.
As far as transitions go, like I won't add much anymore unless it's in camera. So, and I know Brent, I've told him a couple times, like tilt up, tilt down when you can. There was a shot in that stomping ground video at the end where it like tilts up, and that was kind of my exit on there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I really like that. My favorite part about that stuff is like when you just come up with it on site and it just works so well.
Yeah.
Because you just, if you overly plan, I find that if you overly plan and you go straight to like a shot by shot precise list when you go out, you just don't get creative
Yeah.
and you start
Mhm.
missing too much. That being said, you do need a game plan so you don't miss your important stuff. So there's a balance of both, but I think finding that balance is important. So this shot's really nice. Oh, I do want to pull up that one stomping ground clip right now.
Those
So I
like
think
few pursuit
we got a
shots
few.
were so good. They just
Yeah,
they just
oh
worked.
man, that whole section that we got, like I think we need to show these guys this. I'm gonna pull this edit up because it's
Okay.
one of my favorites actually. I had so much fun editing this. So what we did this time, so the pursuit stuff in this stuff was all Brent sitting in the back of like a four-seater vehicle, just with his gimbal handheld. So nothing was like rigged up, nothing was locked in, and then he just had like a little monitor to look through. So it was quite interesting. I was kind of just like standing behind him, holding the back of his shoulders so that he like wasn't shaking too much or anything, right?
It
Like,
was also -20.
yeah, it is snow 2 feet. I'm gonna make my picture smaller here so you guys can check this out. But I want to show you guys this
I'm gonna make
this
this.
section so you can see kind of another style of what we've been working on. So how do I make this thing full screen?
Crazy. Crazy. The drone like added so much.
Yeah. You literally cannot tell the difference between the red stuff and the Kin Affinity stuff in this. It's insane. This shot was terrifying. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Dude, I thought I was gonna fall out of the side by side the entire
it was
time.
so shaky.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So this was that clip I was talking about at the end, like where he tilts up, right? Let me turn this volume down. We just like talk over a little bit of this stuff. This shot right here, like we were going on a road that was going up to the right, and they were going on a road that was going down, and we were cruising like dece fast,
Mm-hmm.
and the road was so bumpy.
Oh my
But
god.
like the one thing is like I do enjoy the bumps like on this shot. I purposely didn't smooth this out because I think the bumps kind of add that speed factor in. Like it like what am I trying to say? It just brings that speed to you,
Makes you feel more
Like
raw.
you can feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more
you kind of
natural.
feel like you're there. This shot was absolutely
So
wild.
so good.
Oh, this shot right here was one of like these were dope. Those were on the red. This was Confinity. This was my favorite. Like this like
Yeah.
super zoomed in, getting down here with the snow like billowing up over the tire. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, I loved editing this stuff. Like I had so many shots that I didn't use, and I was sitting there and I probably spent 6 hours just like adjusting adjusting the shots. You know what I mean? Like being like, "Okay, this shot before this shot, this shot before this shot, this shot before this one. Like what looks better?" And then finally I
Yeah.
sat there and I was like, "Okay, it doesn't matter. Like it's all good. It's not going to make that much of a difference." But yeah, this shot coming here, popping out of this, Jason was saying they couldn't see shit. Yeah, it just worked out. And like this shoot too, I mean, when we finally got outside, got all set up to go like drive around and do our stuff, we had like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we're just trying to like pull our shit together.
Always
But
crunch
yeah,
time.
yeah, always crunch time, right? But yeah, this was that action sequence from this one that I was super proud of.
That was
Probably
my
gonna
favorite
post this
part for
soon.
sure.
But yeah, like I said, it was insanely fun to work with. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that was that. And that's we were
We
kind
were
of, I guess we were
lucky that
talking about kind of movement. So
that area just like had such good like spots to film at, like that first field
yeah.
that we were able to jump into, like that was like half the footage of the pursuit stuff, and it was so cool being able to
Oh
track at like 70 mils from the main trail and have him going like
yeah.
through the powder and whatnot, like it's just
And it
wild.
was like right next to where we parked too, which was
Yeah,
cool. So not having to go in super deep. Like I think next time what I want to focus on, along with like with all this kind of stuff is getting out there and just being more familiar with the area. That's what I lacked. Like for this shoot with Austin, like I've been to Banff, but like I don't know, man. I'm not an outdoor photographer, dude. I don't know the Instagram spots. I don't know the parking lots. I don't know where we can access. I have no idea, right?
yeah.
So um, kind of knowing that and finding those trails, I think ahead of time would probably help us produce better work. So that's something I want to focus on. But at the same time, it's like I'm so busy. I don't like taking a day, an unpaid day to get out there early, um, is difficult, but we'll make
And I
it
think
work.
like on the other hand though, like I notice a lot of time, like especially when I'm just taking like vehicles out to shoot them and stuff like that. Like a lot of the times the spots I planned like aren't the spots that I end up using just because like I
Yeah,
see something with my eye and it just looks like good in the moment and you just shoot it there. I think
I
totally.
like
feel that.
spontaneity also is like a huge key.
Yeah.
Or you get there and there's like 200 vehicles on the road, and you're like,
Exactly.
I'll
Yeah.
just keep coming back to that. I was scared. I was like, oh my
Well,
God,
thank
we're gonna
God Brent
shoot.
had a spot to go to as well.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
came
literally.
in so clutch.
Sean says he wants to do a snow shoot in the 718 Cayman next.
Dude,
Dude,
he's teasing us, man.
dude, he
911 Cayman.
just I can't even handle this, bro. This better pull through. I'm down, man. We'll make some
Yo,
crazy stuff.
let's take it out on Ghost Lake with the moto crane
Exactly.
and
There we go.
shoot some,
Oh yeah,
throw some studded
I
tires on it and call it a day.
yeah, done.
Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely. We're getting into this, man. We've hardly made it through this footage. I need to hurry up.
Yeah. And we're
We'll
not
just
even
keep
at
we'll
the
just keep
goods are at the end.
No, no,
Oh
okay, yeah.
boy.
I'm just gonna,
Good word.
I'm not gonna cut anymore. I'm not gonna cut. Let's just like skim through this. Um, oh man, it's all so good. I just like I keep watching and I'm like, yep, yep, yep. Here we go. You can see the sun's getting a little lower, and this clip's a little bit dark.
This
Just
is where we punched into 35 mils, I think. I did notice that this stuff was a little bit, it just has a little bit of movement to it. And I think that that's,
yeah,
well, I mean, this was the first time that we had shot with the Ronin 2 on on our black arm that
yeah.
we have. And also we were shooting this with photo glass. And I'm going to say that my 24 to 105 is it's tired, and I think I
It's
think that it
loose.
was
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
think it was hopping around a little bit as we got into the longer focal lengths and whatnot, and I'm excited to be able to run all of our cinema glass at the end of the week here when my new adapter gets in.
That's
Nice.
exciting,
But
man.
I
Yeah.
mean, look at this.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, you threw a warp on it
this is just
and
dropping like a little bit of stabilizer on it right from the get-go.
yeah.
Resolve stabilization is just like I've said it before,
Yeah,
but it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
yeah, resolve stabilization is top notch. Chris actually gave me a good tip last night and said that if you up your cropping ratio, if you have any bounce,
Yeah.
that it just like it gets rid of absolutely everything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
But I
That's
mean, like
way
this
better
right
than the
here,
Premiere
like
stuff.
and did you see how fast it did it?
Yeah.
And guess
Yeah.
what? And now I can change the speed,
Yeah, there you
and
go. That's
it
full.
doesn't fuck up the
Oh,
The
that's so
doesn't
render,
fuck
yeah.
up the
nice.
warp.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that's the worst thing about Premiere is like
Yeah.
it takes like 10 minutes to warp something and then you change one little
yeah,
thing and you gotta wait again. Like
And then
it's
you
so
gotta
yeah,
nest it, or you gotta make
yeah,
a sub sequence or something like that, and then
a
yeah.
hassle.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you got to go back and make a change, and you're like, oh my God,
Yes.
what am I gonna
Fuck
do?
my life.
Mm-hmm.
So we got more of this stuff. Oh, ooh, that right there is real nice.
Yeah, that's
Like that a little
beautiful.
bit wider. I think you guys were kind of in the middle
Yeah.
of the road there. Yeah, pull back in right when the cars come, but
Just the depth and like the blue sky with the mountains, it just looks unreal. Like
So then on your thing, you have like a dial for roll, hey, on your
Yeah, so
controller
I
there?
was messing around with it a little bit here. I was trying to see kind of what I could do just to compensate for things, and so that was like
Yeah,
there.
for like corners and shit.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because like we used to shoot with the Ronin MX, and then we actually went to the Ronin One after, and because the Ronin One you can run heavier payloads than the MX could, but both of those, as soon as you got into any corners, they just couldn't handle anything, and you'd see the whole gimbal would swing, and it wouldn't actually compensate the horizon, so it wouldn't keep your horizon level at all, and we would constantly be dealing with like swaying footage, and then I always would there was a few times where I was like, oh, I should just shoot open gate right now, just 4x3, so I can like crop this in, so it's like so I can
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
correct the horizon myself.
Yeah,
But the nice thing about the Ronin 2 is that it's just a beast, and
you can fix that
we
now.
can shoot insane G-force corners, and it is just like completely level around everything. Don't have to do any adjustments, and then uh, basically you can just have fun controlling the roll and whatnot on the controller, and do any kind of like artistic stuff that you want to do with that. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's
Well, I
cool.
remember
Cause then
even
like
going
when you're
over.
hitting those corners, you can tilt it a little bit and stuff too.
Yeah, if sometimes it actually looks cool to like throw a little bit of like tilt into the corner. It makes it feel like you're hitting some G forces or something. So you can just do that yourself, and then it'll just autocorrect itself once you're done with kind of controlling the roll on the remote. And oh, this shot is insane.
Yeah, yeah,
I
very
love
cool.
this
Yeah, I
shot.
was gonna say this shot was sick. Before that, I wanted to say, I see Cam in the chat there. Yo, miss y'all. Yeah, dude. I hope you're doing well out there. You are in oh, what's it called?
Nelson, right?
Nelson. Yeah, yeah. Man, that's I'm a little jealous. I'm glad you went though, dude. I'm glad you did it too, and so fast. Like I feel like it was like 1 second you're like, yeah, I got a job offer out here. Next it was like, I'm trying to find a place. I'm moving. So nice,
Yeah.
man. I'm stoked that you did it. Good experience for sure. We'll get yeah, this shot here. So we just pulled into like a quick parking lot to turn around. Actually, like this right here is like one of my favorites too. Um, just like
Yeah.
coming around this corner with
Corner.
the way that's angled, but right here was insane. So we came into this super dirty gravel section, which
Regret it later, maybe.
I was like, no, why are we doing this? But it is what it is. Sun coming in there, so much dust. The dust was coming off the back of their car. Right here, it's just insane. Like comes out of the flare and out of the dust.
Yeah, right here.
And I
Damn.
didn't even realize we were shooting really right now.
But then this looks
Yeah,
wild.
Yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Just
right
like
there
that, just
is
like the little
nutty.
bit of an aspect change there before you get to the like the side profile here. Um, that's like, yeah,
Yeah,
right there
like
with all
right
the
You
there.
sun
guys
flares.
cracked that so well.
Yeah, that's yeah, and what I like about this angle is like with all the flares off the side of the car, the dust on it like doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's where you can get away. You can get away with some of that versus like when you get, but even after there, like when it gets into the shadow, like only like right there is it really
Mm-hmm.
that bad? But I don't know how you combat that. Like you just have a team constantly doing
Yeah.
it, like, but they got to be out there like waxing it and shit. Like I don't know, just doing it for every specific shot. I guess that's where you have to be really planned out as per like
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly what your shots are gonna be.
Yeah.
So you're like it's a literally clean and you're hitting that shot and then you're cleaning it again. We don't have that kind of time. Like we were just chasing a sunset, trying to figure out we drive further down the road, do we flip around, like what do we do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So then we turn around, pull back out. I think we kept going the same direction.
Yeah. And
Oh
then
yeah,
I
that's
was
so
doing
sick. Like,
a few tilt tests here.
oh this,
I love that.
okay.
That's ridiculous.
Oh my God, that's insane. Like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
yeah. So I'll show you guys just how easy it is to fix this. Like, we hit color, go up to our exposure. I have it turned down a little bit, but I would turn it down. And one thing I have too, which I don't have on my screen here, is this, like the waveform. So kind of hard to fit when I got like other screens or whatever on. But on this one, I'd be generally looking at this waveform. So this is like this is your dark at the bottom. This is your brights at the top. So I can literally scientifically tell if my blacks are too black, or where I'm at. So that's one way to do it. Obviously your eyes work, but all monitors are different. So I kind of like that. I'd maybe pull it up a little bit. Like this is why Jake is gonna color this, because Jake is a master. The footage is just so good that I just want him to do it right. PS 3 cleanings on the plastic trim. Yeah, dude, the plastic trim is nutty. Like that just doesn't clean. I don't know how many times I sprayed that and wiped it down. And I was like, okay, fuck, it's fine. I was like, it is what it is. Like, yeah, that shot was really good. So what I'm gonna do right now, just like I'm gonna just pull it right now, quick, because that way I'll just remember the whole time. And like we're good all the way till this car pulls up here. So pull that up. That way I can reference it later. Oh, I like that.
Oh my god.
It's super nice getting like the blur of the road and then going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like having
Dude,
it in focus.
Yeah.
That looks crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude,
Alright,
one
let's-
thing I noticed was the headlights in that car. I've never like noticed a refresh rate that match, like I guess it must have been right on par with 48 frames per second, because you can actually
Yeah,
see
you can
it.
see it a little bit, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. But I will use, there's a little trick and a little plugin and stuff that can try to combat that a little bit, but
Sweet.
for the most part, as far as like having a quick shot like that, you wouldn't notice. That's only something that like we're gonna notice.
100%, yeah.
Wow.
It's just so grand driving here, like,
Dude,
oh
oh my
yeah, that's
God.
insane.
Yeah.
So I would go all the way from like, I mean, realistically here, all the way back into here. Back to black's all you can do. This is just, yeah, it just blows my mind. I was just driving and when we were, it was funny when we were driving this way, all I was thinking about, I was like, oh, the other way is going to be so much better. Like having the sun behind us and like having everything backlit going to be so good. I was like, this probably doesn't even look that good. And then I looked in the mirror and I seen the mountains behind me and I was like, all right, this is going to look fucking sweet. So I think here's where we finally might have turned around. Yeah, right before the sun comes out. So this is going the other direction again. And then the sun starts to peek out here and this stuff just starts to explode. Like it just like looks insane.
Oh my god.
Like so grand. This
Dude,
corner
that, yeah.
is like insane. Like I'd probably like go here because you really can't see that other car back there. Oh my
holy-
god.
Dude, that's
This is
oh
so,
my God.
yeah, that's in, oh my god.
That's
Yeah,
money.
nice. So we gotta look, man, we really lucked out with like the timing of some of these cars
Yeah.
passing us and shit, right? Like what are the chances?
Dude, and the weather, like,
And the, yeah, the
Weather.
what
weather
the
too. Like
hell?
it wasn't even windy.
Even looking at with like the time of day that we ended up shooting these because of like the rush. Like,
yeah.
Well, look at how low the sun is. So say
Yeah.
like right here, there's no sun, and then it just happens to pop out right there and get like that section of road. Like that, this shot right here is actually, wow, that's actually insane.
Mm-hmm.
That'll work really good for a crop too, like
yeah.
a vertical style crop.
Wow.
Oh wow, look at this. Coming out of that flare. Oh, I'll be able to edit that for sure. Like, oh
That looks
man.
That's
so
a
good.
transition there for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's like a fast transition, like warp to
Yeah.
quick like that.
This is when you go on the back wheel, right?
Yeah, I think we got like right on his wing here.
Oh man, look at this. And see like just
Yeah.
the way that the sun, like our luck of the sun leaving us, because right here you can start to see that the car has a little bit of dust on it, right? You can look at that, but as we get closer, the sun happened to just dip
Gone.
and it left
Just
just like
perfect.
a perfectly washed black Porsche. with 0 dust on it. But that's what it looks like, right? Like it works. And then you get to right here and you're like, oh yeah, shit. They've been driving it through the mountains.
You can kind
Yeah,
of see
very
the
cool.
rig.
And
The rig, yeah, right
and
there.
then right there,
Yeah,
that's dope.
oh man.
Yeah, that's sweet.
You can just like
See, and I would punch in on that too.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
punch in up on like the top right hand side even, or like even down on the tire and then like move up or something.
Man, that
Oh
wing just
wow,
looks
that's
so aggressive for an SUV. It's just like, what?
Yo, shout out
yeah.
to
So when you put this in like super sport mode, that wing comes out.
shout out to no rolling shutter on those trees though.
Oh yeah,
Look
you're
how
100% right.
look how clean.
Everything's straight.
So
Oh man, that looks good.
gnarly.
This, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, right here. See, and I like this, like right here, as soon as that kind of dips.
Yeah.
Just like that contrast with like the trees in the back, and it's really
Yeah.
moody. Like I like that mood on there.
Just like the rotation of the camera. It just like it's
That
so perfect
oh,
for
that is. I like that. Like even though it like moved just like that at full speed fast.
Yeah, that'll look crazy.
Especially with some of like the sound effects, right?
Dude, even combining that with like the flybys that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and with this, don't stress too much about the dirt and dust. Oh, good, it's real Alberta. Yeah, man. We started thinking about like we wanted snow so bad, right? And then I'm like, wow, what if the road was like snowy?
That'd be
Like that
Just-
would have been insane.
Well, it's so
Like we would have been
unfortunate
like,
we couldn't get Brent out to ice fields because it was
oh
snowing
yeah,
there.
that was
There a
nutty.
lot of snow.
But we gotta leave something for next time.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I kept saying. I was like, dude, we can't do everything right now. Like we can't pull all the straws right now.
Mhm.
We gotta leave something for later. But like this whole section, we didn't pass a single car come
Yeah.
around. Like, and this like with the sun like popping through there, like that's, man, I love that. Wow, that is so nice. Oh, and the tilt up. Brent knows. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, this is so wild. Man, I can't wait to edit this. I'm
jealous when
nervous
you tell
though.
it this, Herb.
You want to do it? You can do
Yeah.
it.
No, actually send me over those once you put like the raw cut. I'd like to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's I think kind of my plan and my whole plan with this is I was like, hey, I'm gonna keep it simple. Just like
Mhm.
really nice looking shots back to back with good music, and the car is really the hero. The story is just like you crave these moments.
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
there's
and,
like I
so-
was driving and I was laughing. I was just like, it is so beautiful outside. Like if I
Yeah.
wasn't filming right now and I was just driving down this road, it'd be amazing. So then I just started thinking, I was like, that's what I would want to watch,
yeah.
right? Like this, like watching this, I just go like, oh my God.
And if you think about like shooting for the client or whatever, if we think about that, like what is like a Porsche commercial? It's just like very beautiful shots of their cars, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
capturing,
Especially
like, the
without
beauty
like
of the nature and the
close
vehicle.
close course style.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we had a bunch of people pull up behind us. This guy in this white truck just
Oh yeah.
rode my ass so hard. I was just like, all right, man. But I guess the good part about him being so close is that you couldn't see him. So
I love this right here.
yeah, I think like the mix of like this. Oh yeah, that's wild. Like full speed, like boom boom, like that, and then cut to like an insane flyby shot or something like that. Yeah, Jonathan said, wishing for snow, but this might be more versatile.
That's true.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean like we got a lot of time to shoot snow, right? So
Yeah.
it
Wait until the
is
legs
what
are
it is.
frozen.
What's that, sorry?
Wait till the legs are frozen, and then you can really
Yeah.
put on some
Yeah,
snow.
see, that's what we need to do. We need to
Yeah.
do
I
the
mean-
frozen lake.
Jonathan, like even back when I was working with Porsche, like and shit full time or whatever, we were talking about doing a Ghost Lake, like, and they do ice experiences. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan, but I'm pretty sure like there was a ice experience on Ghost Lake before, right? Or we were just trying to plan that or something. So if we could end up doing that, that'd be a dream. Long time coming.
Yeah. The
Oh, yeah, I like
the
this right
wagon's
here.
got studs, so we're ready to shoot
Yeah.
pursuit stuff.
Yeah,
out
that
there.
thing's
Ready to go.
rails, man, in the snow. That was crazy when we were driving out to that stomp and shoot.
Yeah.
It made me want to buy those tires right away.
Oh, and here's another money shot. so there's choices, and like keep in mind like we're working on a 30-second edit, and we're sitting here with like 40 minutes. Obviously, it's more like 20 minutes because I'm gonna probably not use too much slow-mo of this stuff, but for something like this, like say it like pops up, it's like how do I not go slow for a sec, you know? Having that speed ramp might help too, because I can go slow and then like go back fast into the next clip or something too. So we'll see. But oh yeah, this is money right here. Oh
Wow.
my God, what? They don't let us do Ghost Lake anymore.
For the ice
Uh,
experience,
oh wow.
or just in general. Wow.
Oh wow. Wow,
So
wow,
crisp,
wow, wow,
man.
wow. All right, I'm mind blown. This right here,
This is one of my
this is a
favorite
shot.
shots.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember in the
I
car when you
think
got this, you were screaming.
yeah,
Yeah.
like this with like the track. Like
Oh yeah.
oh man, the Logan on that
Oh,
Focus,
yeah.
Yeah,
right?
Logan.
Hooligans
Yeah.
wrecked it. We might find a private lake. Trust me, I'm working on it. Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Let's do that. I think we know some people that might be able to make something kind of cool out there. We get a drone out there, like
You can get a $100,000
this. I
camera car
think
out there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
200 grand in camera gear. I think this is my favorite shot.
Yeah.
Wow, this is nutty. I just like right here catching that
Dude,
tail light,
Logan
like
just
oh the back
laced it.
end.
He's a beast.
Yeah, and the car looks insanely clean. There's nothing like that. Nothing's gonna bug me. I don't know, dude. It's just like I grew up having a black truck, like a little show truck, but black, man. Like love
Yeah.
to look at it when it's not yours. Sucks to look at when it's yours. You just wash it. You look at every line in it, like, no,
There's nothing
why?
more
What's
stressful than
going
just
on?
walking your black car. Like you're just like, can
Oh
I just sell
yeah,
it? Like
yeah. That's the worst. Well, I think this is my favorite shot. Couple tilt downs, couple tilt ups. The one close up, that sun one, man. There's just like there's too much. I don't know. This was where we had pulled into this little, I don't even know what was it. Like there was
the
some of these
Calgary Research Force thing, right? Something
It
like
was the
that.
UFC Research Center. Yeah,
Yeah.
out in Kananaskis.
Oh, okay.
We just drove in.
It was literally so
Yeah.
random, so random. We did not know it was there, and then we ended up shooting like photo and video edit because it had like the cabin feel, which was pretty ideal because on that day we didn't even get any photos yet because we were so stressed about getting the rollers
Yeah.
and then our first
Yeah.
location not working out. So it was like heaven sent for me to actually get some photos from that day. It made me feel a little bit less stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both left this with like a sigh of relief. We were like, all right. And I kept saying to Austin, I was like, did it look cool? And Austin's like, oh my God, he's like, you're gonna be so happy when you look at this. And I was like,
Oh,
thank God. That's
dude, while I was
that's what
driving,
I
I had to
needed.
peek over at the monitor, and I was like, "What the? Like, this is crazy."
Yeah, that's next time I'm driving that car or like pulling focus or something, someone else can
Yeah,
drive.
this
Did
is
you
such a
already
cool experience.
did you already go through that the shot as we come over the hill and through like the V between the two
Yeah, through the
rocks?
rocks. Yeah, let me find that.
That
Back
one.
here.
Oh, I thought that one was. Well, that one was very. Oh, okay, so this is probably just not
It
in
was
order.
going. It was
Right there, right?
this
No, no, no,
way.
no.
This
The
one?
it was right before we pulled into the UFC. So maybe that clip didn't get yanked into your timeline.
51, 52. Oh, yeah. What's happening here? Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. I had it trimmed down already.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Good
because
call.
there's
Good
there's
call.
like gnarly.
And that's the one I used for the little Instagram promo. I just grabbed the first clip I could find, and it was in this one.
That's super cool with Nikiska in the background there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was looking at that. I was like,
Yeah.
that's so sweet. I've watched this thing in Paul just so much, still haven't driven it off the lot. Dude, you gotta take this for a ride, bro. Like
Yeah.
when I left the dealership with the car on Friday, I was like scared. Like I was like driving so slow and I was trying to figure out how to hook my phone up to it. And then I like hit the gas and it like kind of went, but like when this thing hits second gear, it rips. Like that it's all its power seems to be in like at second gear. And it literally just took off and had its little backfire thing. I don't know what's it called again,
TSG for
Austin. Yeah, it had this little, and I was like, oh my God. And the smile on my face was like, it was unreal. I was so happy. I was like, this is nuts. You have to drive it. And then it's got like sports mode. So you turn the little dial and it goes to sport mode, and then you turn it again and it goes to super sport mode. And then if you push it, it goes into like this extra responsive sport mode. So it's got like 3 levels of fun. It's just like it's
Fun.
dangerous. I don't know. Like I was
Yeah.
trying to drive it downtown Calgary, and I was like, wow.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if like a speed ticket, camera ticket shows up in the mail at Porsche Canada. So if that happens, just let me
oh my
know.
God. Well, I was telling
Because-
Kurt, like, I'm sure you know, Brent, like German cars, man, it's so dangerous because like you could be going like 200
yeah.
and it feels like you're going 100. Like,
Oh,
it's so smooth.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The Beamer that we shot this all from is a 5 Series wagon, and like 7 Series length of wheelbase, and you're going 200, and you can have one finger on the steering wheel. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Wow. Jonathan says
So
next week it's all mine. Gotta drive it like a Porsche. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. It's unreal. This shot right here, man. Like this up close stuff. It was crazy. Like, I mean, Brent's waving me. He kept saying like closer, 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 and I'm like, I'm so close. Like,
dude.
what do you
I
need?
want you like 2 feet off the lens.
Yeah. See, and I'm like,
No, we just
in
gotta.
not my vehicle. I'm like, oh
And
man.
unfortunately, we had an issue with one of our motors, like our camera lens motors, so we weren't able to control our focal length while shooting. So in a case like this, normally we would just punch in, because I think we were shooting 24 mil here. If you were up close and you weren't quite up close enough, then I would just punch into like 50 mil.
Right.
But in
And
this
fix that.
case, we didn't have that motor. We only had a motor on focus, which was the most important one.
Right.
So we were just kind of dealing with
Made it work.
just changing focal lengths when we would stop. And I think we did mainly like 24, a little bit of 35, and a little bit of 50 mil for this one, but.
A little bit of variety.
Yeah, literally the day after, when we were shooting that Audi S5 and we had everything working great, we were shooting all the way from 24 up to 105 mils, like 6-lane wide tracking shots and stuff. So
Oh, that's
Those look
wild.
crazy, man. I saw that.
You can see like it's hard to tell, but I remember coming in here and like coming out and then like ripping and
Oh,
like
yeah.
coming up on you. If it feels like you're coming up so fast, I'm like on the
Yeah.
brake, the whole car feels like it's tilted forwards.
hmm
This is at full speed, so you can kind of see what that looks like. But yeah, man, I love these shots right here, like with the mountain in the background.
Flicker of that flare too, like the sun.
Yeah, see, like that's my favorite, and I can I could like accentuate that. Or, I like this right here, like where the flare comes in. I
Mhm.
think like what I'll do is I'll try to match, like transitions like that.
Yeah.
Keep it natural, keep the energy up, keep it quick. But man, this thing looks good. I love that. Oh yeah, so look how smooth this is. Like there is like a little bit of jitter here and there, but like at this point, like I think
Yeah,
Brent
when we
really
hit these
had this
bumps.
dialed. Cause look at these bumps.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I was
they're
gonna
like
mention earlier. Like
they're bumps,
driving
like
the car,
big
the bump
bumps.
is huge. Like you feel it. It like feels like a pothole, and then I look
Yeah.
at the monitor and it like barely moves, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
Crazy.
that was cool. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Oh yeah, and then we shot some. We were checking out the fitment on the Beamer here.
Look at- nice and tucked in. Yeah, we're trying to find a spot where we can switch positions still. Oh man, that
Wow.
is sweet too. Yeah, that's usable.
That's beautiful, man.
Oh, I think that was the shot that I used in the
Yeah.
I posted on the Instagram there. Yeah, it was like I just looked at the one clip, pulled that out. I was like, all right, good, move on, let's go. It's like gotta post something on the Instagram.
Just coming up here. Oh yeah, then we tracked some mountains for you.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'm using that for sure.
High speed B-roll.
I said to Austin, I was like, I need more B-roll. That was the one thing I would do next time is just try to get more like B-roll other than the car. But the fortunate thing is like we're looking at a 30-second timeline,
Ooh,
right? So
that one worked out.
oh, that is yeah,
Look at
yeah,
that light in the back there.
yeah. That's it. And I could
Jeez.
accentuate that a little bit too, like
Oh,
add a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
lens distortion in there.
Yeah.
Track it right in the corner. You'd never know.
And then, yeah,
Oh
right there
man,
as we come through.
what are the chances that there was no cars?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this is prime example of just like being with the right people,
At the right time.
doing the right thing at the right time,
Yeah.
and things just working out, right? Like we had such a stretch here with no cars, like because when we drove this road the next day to do photo rollers, it was
Oh,
way
it's
busier, like
It's
way busier.
Yeah.
So yeah, that this is the roller stuff for those watching that. I'm super pumped. We won't watch all the red stuff, but I'm just gonna show you guys some of it quick.
Yeah,
So
I want to see this.
we started out, this was we were gonna shoot a little bit down here in the they got this like crazy photo booth. The whole roof is all lights and everything. Like we were gonna shoot some there, and then we were gonna shoot a sequence of like the garage door opening and whatnot, but it just turned out we didn't need it. I just started going like, how do we get from inside to going through the garage door to going outside to hitting a sunset to driving? Like, I think that would be good for like its own thing, but I think we had kind of what we needed, so we were down here. This is this wild elevator inside their shop. Like the vehicle hardly fits in it. It was insane, but this is pretty cool, right?
That's
Like,
cool.
so I think next time I would definitely use this. Maybe like this opens up and like reveals the car, which is facing the other way and drives out, but then it actually ends up being outside or something. I'm not sure. I would
Could we just like appreciate how still
figure that
you are
out.
with that heavy ass gimbal there? Like that
Right
door takes
here.
a while. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my back was on fire. Like
Crazy.
absolutely just
You didn't
like
bring
on
the
fire.
ready or the easy rig for this one, did you?
He had it.
No,
Oh, you did?
it was in my car. I had the ready rig in my car the entire time. I just didn't take it out, you know? So we shot a few things like this. So this is my first time, so I was playing with the focus there, like trying to figure it out, shooting at f1.8. Moving with the gimbal is not the most ideal. But hitting a few moments, like catching like this. So I don't know, like this could even be the start of the video yet too, or this could be like part of the end. I'm not too sure. Or maybe they're just standalone shots, right? Like maybe we just make a
Yeah.
a little shot that's like something like a little 10-second Instagram reel or something for them that's like the car parts like this and then a couple details after or something. Just lots of orbit stuff. Punching in is where it gets,
that
nailing this focus
flare.
right here. Like
Yeah,
this
the flares
is
are popping off.
yeah. This
Oh.
entire video is gonna be flares. Like I think kind of like the theme I wanted to go with was kind of like chasing the sun because
Yeah.
that's what we did. That's literally like I was telling Jonathan when we dropped the car off. It was like the car was for like comfort, luxury, sport, adventure. But like that's what the trip turned into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a sense, like we were going to shoot, but like we kind of ended up just like shooting the stuff that we found. Like we literally just went out and we took it on a weekend adventure, and this is the shots that we got with it. So that's like kind of the story that's getting told, and I kind of like that in a sense. It's not necessarily what I went there thinking I was gonna do, but it worked out, and stuff like this is just insane. So we had it parked here, got some details like stuff like that. And this is all 120, so it's all playing back at 120. But like I love that.
Yeah.
Crop it in so we don't see that BMW in the corner there.
I think that's Ben.
But even this, like how like that the flare is coming like over the logo.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh yeah, I like the sign there too.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. See, so I'm thinking like maybe even like because we have all this stuff, make like a little like 10-second video that's the car just like parked out in front.
Yeah, just be easy. And I appreciate it.
This was that stuff. Let's see, is this more of the same thing?
I like when we moved the car like in front of, like I don't think it
Yeah,
was
like
it
this
there?
stuff.
Yeah, it must have been there. I want to see the Christmas tree thing that.
Oh yeah, there's like the
Yeah, I love
Christmas tree in
that.
the background in the window. Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
smooth.
Dude, when you get the red
I think that looks
reflection in the
good.
hood there, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So I think this might even be like part of the start. I have a couple options. You guys truly lived, or you guys lived the Porsche experience truly. Yeah, literally. That's like what I was just laughing. I was like, man, it's just working. This was that area where we stopped after we did the rollers.
Dude,
I'm gonna need
I
the
like
I'm gonna
that.
need the clip.
Where you rotated around there. It looks super. I don't even think you were trying to shoot right there, but that rotation.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a loop, dude. You could
That
use
is
that.
sick.
Yeah, the one thing, let's see, I'm trying to hit focus here. But just like I think you and I that work our gimbals the same way. A lot of it's like orbit.
Yeah.
Like not just moving left to right, but also moving front to back, as
Yeah.
well as like having like the right angle on your gimbal so that it's like
Uh-huh.
it's turning at the same rate you're moving so that you can predict your end spot, because essentially you're trying to be like you're
Yeah.
trying to keep the center of the car in the center of the shot, right? So
Yeah.
it's a mix of you moving along with tilting your gimbal in the right way. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
got a
need this
shot there.
B-roll from you.
Awesome. Yo, I
Yeah, I'm
got
gonna need
you
this.
shot. Austin grabbing some bangers. I was like, this is so sick. Like even like
Actually dope.
just that stuff. Or like this. I like that. I just like the moodiness of like the black just being very black, like with a little bit of white in there.
Dude, even
But
that wood building looks so good on camera like that. Like,
yeah. And this is like the
Mhm.
crazy thing is this is like out of camera.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's nuts.
So wait, this is do you not
This
shoot in like
is
a flat
red.
profile or anything?
I'll show you in a sec.
So is this a proxy with like a
No, it's just has its raw setting has like a grade on it essentially.
okay. Word.
Let me find a better. Okay, so this was this stuff. This was sunrise location that we found like the night before, trying to figure out like where the sun comes up, what time it's going to come up, where there's not going to be any people.
That's ridiculous, dude.
Um I'll show you. I'll just play with like find a good spot to play with it. Like right like here maybe. Okay. No, there's something better than that. I can't look at that. Right there. Nice. I hadn't pulled it onto the timeline. So I'll give you guys the little red detail here. So okay, so this is why I really like working in Resolve with this red raw footage, is because of the raw control right here. So this is decoding using project settings, which is set like deep in the project, but I'll just change it to clip and it'll be the same. So the color science, there's two color sciences when working with the red, or three, it looks like original. I don't know what that is. Legacy, which is the one the color science used to be, and then there's IPP2. I use IPP2. It's just a newer. It's a little bit different. Like you can kind of see a bit of a difference in the footage.
Okay. Yeah.
But for the most part, it doesn't look that different. Just a small change. But what the difference is between all the red cameras, they all have this IPP2 setting, so that what that means is like if I shoot this on my Raven and then something else on the Helium and something else on the Gemini, if we use IPP2, they're all the same.
That's
So it's
sweet.
made for color matching, but it's just a new one.
That's dope.
So what it is like its default, its selected color space is Rec 709,
Right.
and the gamma curve is BT 1886. So that gives it this image.
So it's
So
just
this
like
is like where I see.
it's like throwing a base Rec 709 LUT on it,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, that's exactly what this is. It just has a LUT, and then what this LUT is controlled right here. This output. I can't think of the full name on it. Oh, change another shit here. This output map. So if I go at none, it's kind of like a contrast almost. So if you start with none, low, medium, and high, it'll change the contrast in it.
Right.
So it's generally set to medium, and that's kind of what I like to use. And then it has a highlight roll off as well, so I can go like a very soft. So I can keep
Cool.
it like very soft, soft, medium, hard. So this is like without needing LUTs or anything. So that's what I like about this. It's just like the image that it spits off like immediately is amazing. So the best part about RAW, the thing I love the most is just the direct color temperature control. So, you know how you set your photo camera or you set your camera before you shoot. Sometimes some of us work very fast. I think that's like my main thing is just like I get to focus on so much else rather than making sure, hey, is my color temperature set the exact like properly?
Mm.
Or say you shoot like an interview somewhere and the light tends to be a little bit different than you think it was, or it changes, or something like that. Like maybe the sun dipped down behind and it got really cool out. Yeah, like with the thing is with with like his ProRes footage like from the Confinity, you can fix that for sure and you probably won't really notice.
Mm-hmm.
But like just this adjustment right here is so dialed. So say like I want to go for a cooler look, go a little bit colder. I like that. But then now I'm like, let's go sunrise. Let's go like warm, warm, warm sunrise.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's like everything is spec like perfectly done, right?
Yeah.
And tint, like I didn't realize how important tint is and how much tint there is in certain locations. Outdoors not so much, but like uh it'll even depend like if you shoot an interview somewhere and it has like a yellow wall or not even just yellow, like a green wall or like because tint is the direction of like purple to green, whereas color temperature is blue to yellow. So it's kind of the opposite way. But after playing with the tint, I'm starting to realize how important it is in certain places. So depending on the colors and stuff you're shooting too. So I would go in here, kind of make my adjustments, and then this is like a base grade. So this is how I'll look at the footage and how I'll use it. But this is not how I will end up grading it. I'll grade it from log. So what I'll do
Yeah.
is I'll just go in here after and I'll change this to red wide gamut RGB, and then to log right
Okay.
here,
Awesome.
and then it spits out a log image. So the part that I like is generally I have like a little setting set up here. So if I go, this is red log RG3. So I have some settings, some presets. So you can see this is like 5800 K, 2 tint 640 ISO, 6000 K. So I could just like drop this on here right now and apply grade, and it saves the setting. So what this is it put the camera into the log format, ISO 640, color temperature 6000. But if I were to disable all this, it would be log. So I just drop this on top.
Nice.
So what I'll do is like when I'm grading the footage and I'm making the video, or when I'm like editing the video, I will use this so I can see it. But when I send it out for final grade, you can enable a flat pass in here, so it'll export the entire video without any coloring on it.
That's sick.
So so then what it'll do is it'll send like the perfect adjusted the metadata of the raw, like the color temperature and the tint and the ISO and everything will be set right and proper to how I want it, but it'll send the log image out to the colorist.
Awesome.
So that's what I like about that. But yeah, I mean you can see here like this is already done so much compared to how we were looking at it the first time. Like just changing the ISO. Like instead of making that adjustment there, I could just turn it down here. Like,
Dude,
I don't realize how high, like how exposed to the right is what they call it, and it's like a practice when you're using 8-bit footage, shooting as bright as you can without overexposing and then turning it down. I get so used to that, and I don't realize how bad and how overexposed my stuff is until I get in here and I crank the ISO down like a couple hundred, and it still looks okay.
Yeah.
Like to a certain extent, like this is underexposed, but as a stylistic option, say in like a film or anything like that, like this works.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
definitely.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy because I exposed for 640,
Yeah.
which is this. Or I'm like, I'm too dark, like bump up to like 800. I don't really go much above. I'll do 1000 if I need to, or 1280 if I need to with noise reduction, but that's
just
the
be
one
really
thing.
nice having that flexibility.
Yeah, and it's nice
what's
just like
native
clicking the
ISO
number.
in your
800.
Okay.
but anything above 800 is trash.
So do you just try and keep it at 800 all the time and then compensate for
I
that?
try to shoot at 640.
Why don't you keep it at the native?
Well, it doesn't necessarily matter, but I try to expose for 640 just
Okay.
because it'll allow me to bump up one stop,
Okay.
if I need to without losing.
Word.
But yeah, that's the thing. So someone taught me this a while back, and it just blew my mind when working with raw footage. Is like, it's the opposite of what we used to do. So like,
Yeah.
in a low light situation, you want to have your ISO as low as possible. Like you want to light and expose to have your ISO extra low so that in post you're able to lift it up later. And then the same is the opposite. So if when you shoot in bright environments, you want to be shooting with a higher ISO so that you have more room to turn it down after. Because if I was shooting at ISO 250 because I was like, it's bright outside,
Yeah.
and then I expose because I'm using a variable ND and stuff here, right? So if I shoot this, but it's overexposed, well now on here like I don't have as many stops. Like well I go down to like 50 and whatever, but I don't have as many stops to go down.
Right.
But if I expose for 640, now I all of a sudden I have all this room to drop it down and try to save it.
That's fair. Yeah.
So it's kind of weird like that, but essentially it's just like you're just looking at what's blown out and accepting what's blown out. Like in this scene, the sky like back here, like I mean I couldn't see this well with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Right? Like I couldn't like that's gonna be the way it is, but like this is like this camera that just blows my mind is like I can see in these vents, but I can also see the edge of this peak, which is in the sun flare, like in the sun. Like directly in it. That's just what I like about it. But yeah, that's kind of my process for like working with the raw footage or like color grading the raw stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Makes sense.
So there was that sunset stuff, a couple things. Yeah, we tried a couple different ways. I had Austin drive in from the right hand side, but it just didn't look natural and look as good and work as well. Generally motion left to right works better regardless. So this was he come the other way, drove in here
Yeah.
and moved. And then we were like, I was like, okay, it would look better if he didn't curl back towards me a little bit. So we did this way, I think a couple more times, which I like. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's just like between him stopping versus where I started my orbit, there's a bit of a disconnect.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
this works really well, but then it kind of like stops and like starts again and goes to the right,
It's like
whereas
two
I wanted to
separate
keep it.
movements.
Yeah, and I want to try to keep it more natural. So this way was just me coming back and him pulling in and stopping.
Oh, that's
Right.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Like that looked better. And
I
was
think
like,
it's just
okay.
the position of the light also. Like it
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have you're backlit there versus having all the lighting on the hood of the car the other direction.
Right? And that's where I could like come in and try out a few things, and I really like this stuff.
Dude, I just can't
And that's
get over
where
how
like
much
I look at
detail
this.
can, like, you know.
When I look at this and I'm like, it's overexposed, it's directly into the sun, right? And to a certain extent it will be. Like this is gone. Like that's like a white no matter what. But I'll show you in here how we can sorry, and like this is without the raw controls. Like this is as if we were working with like your ProRes files. Same thing, but I could go in here and adjust these down. Yeah, that looks wild. And then we just did a couple here. Austin like getting out of the car. Brendan seen these earlier. So we did this and I was like, you know what? This is the right spot. I was like, why don't you get out and then why don't you just walk down the platform there?
Oh, dude. Oh.
Yeah, literally. We were like, oh my God, finally something's working.
Man, focus on point.
And I'm trying to rack focus because I can't see the monitor unless the monitor is literally in front of the sun, like blocking it because it was just too bright. So I couldn't see anything here. So I'm kind of just trying to guess. And then I was like, all right, rack focus out. And then here, managed to like nail right on him. So I was like, this will probably be our end scene. So like kind of like the chasing sunset vibe. Walks out, chases this down.
Goes and does a front flip dive into the ice
Yeah.
pond.
Into the ice.
See you later.
Yeah, cause I even like that. Like,
Oh, dude, it's so like lifestyle-y, you know?
yeah, and I think that's kind of like the mix. You can see here is like I came here but didn't hit this focus going back. Had no idea. I was like, just finish the shot out regardless. That's why we just did it a bunch, just to see like what worked, right? Because we have like no idea. Like when you can't see the monitor, it's like it's anybody's guess
You're
as to
blind.
what things are looking like.
Wow.
So I think probably like something like that. This one was a little wider with a couple back and forths like this. So generally what I try to do is I'll use a spot that like the sun isn't poking through and then somewhere where it is.
Mm.
Just a mesh of both. Or like this is exposed quite a bit better. I adjusted my exposure, you can kind of see. But like it doesn't matter what I do. Like this ice right here is gonna be blown out
Yeah.
no matter what because
And
it just is.
and there's no sense in even trying to expose to the point where you can recover that, because with your natural eye, that's going to be blown out anyways. So that's just like
Yeah,
the natural
Yeah,
look.
exactly.
and it kind of creates that silhouette. So I
Dude,
think like
that's
I'll have
so
them walk
sick.
out, and then this probably like something like right here, probably like one of my last shots.
Dude, that is crazy framing there. Like that looks so good.
Yeah, and that's just that parallax, especially like sped up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What frame rate did you shoot this all at?
120.
Okay, awesome.
I shot in 120 for mostly for safety.
Yeah.
Just because I hadn't used this gimbal before. I have never used my red on the gimbal, and I couldn't really see my focus. So I guess my thought process was, if I shoot 120, all I need is one decent second to make 4 seconds. Just because I didn't know. I wasn't sure. But now I know I definitely don't need to. But yeah, just having just options, right? Like
Yeah.
What f-stop
things
are you
like that.
shooting with here?
This stuff is probably like 2.8.
2.8, yeah.
Trying to keep it as low. Some of it might be 4. I remember turning it to 4, which I never ever do. But I was like, I just wanted options. I just wanted to be
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Like don't want to end up here with like this amazing thing, taking these crazy Instagram stories, being like, holy shit, this stuff's amazing. And then the video is like completely out of focus, So
Dude, I really like all those shots there. Like that orbit, it just looked really good.
yeah, and then like this to mix in with those rollers just to cut it up a little bit, like this in full speed.
Wow.
Again, just happened to be a spot where we were shooting that. Whatever, but I was like, I like when it rips past like
And like the
the
dust
snow,
trail.
that everything just like flying in the air still.
Dude.
Yeah, that was cool. And I just did a couple but looking at it now, like I can see that I wasn't focused on the mountain as good as it could have been, right? But like I couldn't see that. Like if I look right here, I can see where I'm focused. Like I'm focused on the middle of the road still.
Right.
So I didn't adjust that. So that's something that I would need to pay more attention to. But say a
That
shot
looks
like
really
this could
good.
work. And
Yeah.
I was literally just trying to grab a couple things in between
Yo, and then
before you came
blend that
around the
in with that
corner.
other tracking shot that we got off the pursuit
Yeah.
car. And
Yeah,
see some
yeah, yeah,
sick
yeah,
B-roll.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then we got this angle too, just
Oh,
in
dude.
case. So it looks nice. And then what I'll do is um I'll use it's called RSMB, real speed motion blur, real steady motion blur, I can't remember. And I'll just re-add motion blur back on to some of the stuff. So it'll just add like a little bit onto the car and whatever. It won't look as good as if I had just shot it in 24, but it'll work.
That's
And then I just
awesome.
had a couple in-car shots here. We did some 24 or some 120. And then we tried to do the button pushing, but this shot didn't work because you just like couldn't see enough. So we did this one, which I like right here. This is that dial for the turbo speed. This S plus.
Yeah.
Shit my pants plus. It was nuts. Like that, like the perfect like click the button.
Yo.
So that was kind of cool. And then
Yeah, dude.
had some
Ooh,
shit in the
no.
dash of clicking it. So you can see where you click it. Yeah, it goes to Sport Plus to like Sport Response. And then the RPMs just go up just from pushing the. Yeah, you can see how much they go up just from
Yeah.
pushing that button.
Couple thousand.
And we're going 98. Like it's not like we're driving like 40 down the road.
That's
So we
cool.
just had a few button pushes. So I'll cut something like that in. And then like one of the whip buys or something. I did this clock. I didn't really like much of that.
Yo,
A
that's
couple
That's
a
cool,
couple
yeah.
motion. Yeah, like a bit of like a
Man, that's the kind of scenario where 120 and high frames come in handy so much, where you can just like do a super fast
right?
camera movement and then
And it's
play it
butter
out.
later.
Yeah.
And then I did the same thing in 24 after just because I'm like probably gonna try to use that speed. Like so that'll probably be like such like fast cuts. So I did a couple inside just like that. Yes, the sport response. Austin wasn't really allowed to drive the car, so this was his small
Yeah,
small
I'm not
adventure.
not
His
25 yet. Can't drive the big boy car.
small down the road adventure.
Oh.
Just to snag some of
Yeah,
these. But
John,
then I
when we
did
do the next one, man, it's got to be dealership contracts only, baby, so we can drive them.
because that's like what doing this at like 24 looks like. Which like it works when it works, but maybe I want, you know, maybe it doesn't work like that. Like still looks so nice. Like if that looks so just variety. Couple BTS here, Austin. Oh, look at that. Some real stuff. Some
That's fire.
vertical.
Yeah, you gotta send me those. I can make some reels.
Yeah, I should send these to you. And then we got this car parked in this little closed off parking lot that we managed to wheel ourselves into and drive out right as the guy was coming up to tell us to get out. So
The parks guy, yeah.
And out.
That's the way it's done. You
Yeah,
get in,
that's how
get
it
your
works,
stuff
right?
quick, and then you roll out as they're kicking you out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was. We came here and I wasn't even gonna shoot because I was like, "Okay, I'm done. Like, I got my rollers, I got my exit, I have some Porsche stuff for the morning from Calgary, and then we're gonna shoot sunrise at the dealership on Monday morning." And I was like, "Hey, I'm good for my video." And then I was like looking at this stuff, and I was like, "Ah, I better grab some shots." I was like, "How can I not? Like, you never know, right?" I'm like,
And
maybe
that's
we
how
want
you
just
end up
one.
with 100 terabytes a year of footage.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, this entire, but between all of our stuff for 30 seconds, I have a terabyte.
Jesus.
Because Brent's was like a couple of Brent's files are 50 gigs.
Yeah, I think mine was like 280 for all the pursuit stuff for like 24 minutes
No,
of
yours was
pursuit stuff.
Wow.
more.
Wasn't it
Was
like
it?
400? 4 something?
Oh,
Yours
maybe it
was
was.
yes, because you told me 280, and then I went to dump it, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa,
Whoa.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, it was 250.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah,
Never mind.
that's what I thought.
Somebody
I
told
think
me, I thought I heard 400.
It
when
was.
we
Oh no, the whole folder was 480.
okay, when we did Stomping Grounds, that was like 700 for me.
Yeah.
Cuz
I
I
know I
shot
couldn't put it all in one SSD.
cuz I shot 422 at 72 frames per second the whole time or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it adds up, especially like when I'm shooting. Like I shot 647 gigs,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm not store. That's why I won't store all of my raw footage because I don't need it, you know.
Mhm.
And cause I don't need the raw all the time either. Like if I'd make the adjustments and I do like a little base grade here, and then I'll just export that as like a high res, ProRes, or DNxHR file after.
Yeah.
I'm good. But then I'm also like, maybe 1 year, maybe Jonathan's like, oh, yo, man, do you remember when you guys, like in 2 years, do you remember when you did that shot? There was that one I remember like this. Like, do you have that?
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, I know exactly where it is. I'm not gonna have to go sort through 700 gigs
Yeah.
of footage, right? But I liked like some of this stuff you'd see. Yes, this was an ND filter, so I had a variable ND on. Too dark. Set the camera down, twisted it, lightened it back up.
There we go.
Little trick. I like that right there. We did this couple
Oh.
ripping down here.
Oh yeah,
Sick.
Emerald Lake Road. Yeah,
Is that what this was? Emerald Lake Road,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
This I would, Brent, we got to do rollers over here, man.
Yeah.
Like I think next time we do rollers, we push a couple of these roads because they were
Yeah.
like dead. And yeah, but
Especially if you can get out on like a weekday, like there'll be nobody out there really. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
yeah,
like,
that's what I would do. I would do that next time too. I would do a weekday
yeah,
now.
yeah.
But like I said, like such a learning experience. Like we're just going in knowing
Oh,
nothing, right?
Of course.
So that was that stuff. This was sunrise
Kurt.
in
What
the morning.
Dude,
So
I
this
can
was
see Austin's flipping around in his chair right now, I bet.
dude, I was literally cruising down Deerfoot at like
Austin was late.
170 trying to make it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
sunrise supposed to be at 8:30. This happened at like 8. Like
yeah, and I was even late. Like this was like the end. This was the end. Right after this, like the sun dipped. Like no
Yeah.
sun.
like who knew?
But anyway, I have
Not me.
like one of these shots. So I think the video will probably start out with something like this.
That looks ridiculous.
Like maybe like open up on this realm.
Yeah.
And then we had a few options. A few different options. A couple close up type detail type stuff just in case I wanted. I liked I think right here I was trying to do like a I liked how the letters kind of like warped on the side of the car.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's trippy.
Especially like maybe zoomed in with maybe like a dynamic zoom of some kind, like a in or
Yeah.
out. Porsche building.
I like to see some of the driving shit that we got there. Like
This was Austin getting in, and then I was
Booty
like,
shot.
I don't know if I want to
Nice.
do. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do. Yes, this is what it was like after Austin got there.
yeah.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
kind of weak ass, but we were just spoiled with like direct sun flares for 2 days, so forgive me.
yeah, facts.
Couple different options, like a side tracking. I don't know if I wanted that because realistically, I didn't really want much of a person in it all, so I'll probably just go from car to like this. I'm thinking.
Mhm. You
More
like
in the
have
realm
the
of that.
person in it, but yeah,
But yeah, like
it's
I didn't want
ambiguous as to
anyone
who
to
they
even know
are.
it's him. Yeah, exactly. Like really let the car be the hero in there.
Yeah.
So there was something like that. A couple others. Where's the drive-by ones? Yeah. And then just something like this, like him just driving away in it.
Dude, it's sick how the roof box like perfectly blocks out the logo. That'd be a trippy like tracking thing.
Ooh.
Oh, dude, that's insane. I did not know that.
It's so sick.
Yeah, maybe this clip like starts like zoomed in closer. And this is what I'm talking about raw. Like let's just do this for a sec, just so I can show you guys why this is. So then maybe we're like, I don't know, I'm not really sure what color temperature I should have shot this in, or like maybe we're too bright, like if we're trying to go for the morning sunrise. Like look at that. Like I just went from 640, which I shot at, which is like my reaction, down to like 200, and I'm like,
My God.
that looks a little more natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like, that's
warm
what
that
it was
shit
actually
up,
like.
and then
Yeah, and then yeah,
make it,
even like that.
and then some like red
Like, and then
tint for the sunrise.
Yeah, that's fire. So cool.
Yeah, and then I can add in, go in here, toss that gain, make that a little bit like
Yeah.
a little bit more that way, or like there. Bring this down. You know what I mean? And that's like not like even graded. That's terrible. But you know, you know what I mean.
Boys
Just
put the
how
work
much you
There's
can
in.
like
do. Yeah.
there's like mad flexibility,
Yeah, that's
and like
wild.
that's why I've been finding recently that like I haven't really been using LUTs that much. Like in that stomping ground shoot, I didn't use any.
Dude, I found when I switched to
Um,
Resolve, I literally stopped using them as well, and I just do it all by hand
yeah,
now.
or I use them at like 20%,
Mm. Yeah.
which is nice. But I mean, I found like Brent's footage just looked so good, like with the little grade on it that I did, that I was like, it was good to go. So yeah, that's how everything looks. That's what we did. That's the run and gun style shit happened to just come together happily. It was,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I'm pumped on everything. I think we got a lot of good stuff to work with, and like we've looked at it all, but like once you start trimming things down, you know, to making a 30-second clip, when maybe 5 seconds of intro, like trying to like, this is the other thing too. It's like we want to start at the dealership. Jonathan wants to start in Calgary at the dealership, so we have these shots. But I'm like, I want to really grab the viewer's attention as soon as possible, and those rollers, some of those rollers are really the money ones, right?
Mhm.
And now I'm like, the rollers are amazing. The pulling up of the lake is amazing. This stuff is good. Is it that good? How do I fit it in? Where does the story work? Can I not do this but still get Porsche Calgary in there? How do I build that story? And a lot of that I think for me is just gonna rely on the song. Finding a song that allows me, that will help carry that story with getting to the good shit right away.
Mhm.
So that's the challenge I'm faced with now, having all this stuff and trying to figure out, you know, like, man, actually this stuff isn't that bad.
It's kind of
I
dope.
think I think I lied. I do
That
quite
with
like
like a
this.
contrasty grade would look fire.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
really dark.
Yeah.
And then we did shot a couple things. Oh man, I don't know what I'm
And gnarly.
stressed about. Like,
Oh, goddamn.
yeah, that was kind of alright, eh?
Yeah, that's
That's why I did so many, or like it's like
Mhm.
like a shing of some kind, and then it comes out,
Go
and like
warp
you pull
or
that
a
door
ramp.
handle open. Yeah, like a speed ramp.
Yeah.
It's like, and then we did some like the key turning. I'm just like having the red on the gimbal is just life changing for me.
Did you
I've
never
been
run it
using
on
it.
your movie, your old movie?
Didn't fit.
Oh shit.
I know. I've never had the red on the gimbal the entire time I've had it, and I've just
Oh
been like, I just wanted it so bad, right? Like,
yeah.
just because I 100% could have done this with the Sony. Um, but you know, how do you happily do that when you know this is sitting in the bag?
Yeah. No,
Well,
that's
you do it, you happily do it because you don't have the money to spend to make it work. But
Well, just like the peace of mind too, especially on the run and gun, and like not having an exact plan and like shit changing
yeah,
all the time. Like it's nice to not have
see,
to
and then
stress about that.
and then I put it in 24 and shot a bunch of stuff like this. So I think I might use some of this stuff in the intro. 'Cause I just don't want the whole thing to be too perfect.
yeah. Sometimes that can, if you have like the
It can get a little boring, you know?
yeah. I like
Yeah.
that.
So at least we have like, at least we have some of this. So I shot like some wider, some closer up, and I'll chop it together in a manner that works. This would be a good example of, like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, probably when I'm shooting, like I probably know that I'm overexposed, but at the same time, I have like on the red, there's like, it has these goalposts, like your lower end and your higher end. And as long as neither of the lights are lit up on any of those, you know that you're not losing any data on your highs or your lows. So if you keep your image inside of there, you have maximum flexibility later.
That's cool.
which is kind of like, so essentially when I'm shooting, I'm like not, I'm looking at this and all I'm making sure is like I'm not overexposed, because then now look, I can come in here and drop it down.
You can just do whatever you
Damn,
want. Wow.
Yeah,
holy shit.
right? Like,
I almost love that. Just like the natural kind of like
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, especially for like the intro.
Yeah,
Maybe
dude.
it's like a big sweeping sunrise with the building, and then it's like you come and get in it, you know?
Exactly.
And then the song like bangs, and there's some I got to figure out like what's the transition from here to the driving sequence, and then what's my transition from the driving sequence to the ending sunset to the logo. So yeah, I think I think I did as good of a job as I could have done given the way everything was, and like I really do, I'm really bummed that the initial idea didn't work out, because I didn't want to make another video like this. Like I really wanted to add in that story and try to like really make like an emotional tie and something that's like, wow, that's absolutely amazing. But that doesn't always work out. There's restraints, restrictions, shit happens, and we just did what we could, right?
Yeah,
This is like the prime time to be able to show that like improvisation is possible on something like this. Like I mean,
yeah.
the world is in this situation that it is, and we went out and we made this happen on a whim. So yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
what
because I
like
think you and I
Tuesday.
talked on the phone. You and I talked on the phone about 2 hours before
Yeah.
this happened, and that we decided that you were gonna be able to come and help me get some rollers.
Yeah. No,
So
that
that's
was
pretty
just so
sweet. But
convenient. Yeah.
Austin and I talked lots that weekend, and we were like, you know what? Like, I think this is being able to work in that type of environment. I think is what sets us apart from a lot of people. And I think,
Yeah.
having a small specialized team with specialized equipment really lets us do that. And I think that's why we're gonna stand out, and that's kind of the direction that we're all going. So
100%.
yeah,
Even
but
like
that's all
Brent.
the footage, man. We did everything. 2 hours.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Damn. Well, no, this was sweet. I'm glad. I mean, even if we didn't live stream this, um, this is something that I would like to do though, like go through the footage with the people we shoot it with and stuff.
Of
So I
course.
think we learn, right? Like we can all learn together when we're looking at things. And Brent saying like, "Oh, it's a little bit like this, but I would do it like this," and me being like, "Oh yeah, okay, that's cool," rather than just like dumping the cards and then being like, "Hey, see ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you figure it out." But
Totally.
This brings like the teams closer together too.
Well,
yeah,
then
yeah,
when you get to see the post production world too, then it will allow us to now, because I can see like how you're looking at it after we've
right.
shot it, and then the next time we go to shoot pursuit work, then we really know how to like cater to like the exact needs. So
Yeah, and like you know what? Yeah, because then you sit here and you're like, "Oh, this is what he really likes,"
yeah,
and now when you're shooting, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, I'm getting exactly that."
yeah,
Um, yeah, no, I'm really stoked. I mean, I think we need to do this as much as possible. Like just
Of course.
learning, man. Like I learned so much. Like I know exactly what I would do differently next time. And how I would prepare and how I would time it and be like, hey, we need a day for this, we need a day for this, and like obviously we were restricted on time and you got to work with your environment and the weather, but things worked out the way they did. So
yeah.
Yeah. And I feel
it's
like the
like,
more we
yeah,
combine mediums as well, like the more we learn how to do that, like
yeah,
what the best flow is for that as well.
absolutely. I think it's all learning experience, but that's why we got to just like get out there and do it. So
Yeah.
again, Brent, I appreciate you coming out. And one thing I enjoy is when you do come, you're always fucking stoked and excited and you ask questions when you need to ask questions, and you make decisions when you need to make decisions, which is great, right?
Yeah, I mean, I always have that conversation with all our guys like Logan, Daniel, Calvin, everybody, um, and we're just like on a consensus that if we're in the car shooting, if we're doing anything related to that, we are in the best possible place that we can be, and we are there to deliver the highest quality of product, and there's no other place we would rather be, and so there's no reason not to be stoked, and yeah, that's what we're trying to do is deliver the goods, but not only like deliver high quality shots, but create like a relationship with like everybody that we're shooting with as well, and do it in a way that like, because you could deliver a good product, but if you're not having a good time doing it, then it's not going to be something sustainable. So I think that
Yeah, totally.
every time we finish a shoot, we're always just like jonesing for the next one. And you haven't even
Yeah.
seen the footage yet. You haven't even worked on post, and you're just like, I need to get out and do this again.
This is amazing.
Yeah, so it's like it's like going like skiing or mountain biking for me. Like it's the exact same rush. Like it's just adrenaline the whole time. So yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I
And
feel
even if
that.
it's not like the fast paced stuff, like even if you're like if you're shooting those static shots like you were at the lake and everything, like
Hmm.
just that feeling of getting like a good track and then like a perfect composition, like there's your rush right there.
Yeah.
Literally no
It's
better
like just
feeling.
doing it and then like sitting in time being like, yo, I think that looked dope. And then we look at it and we're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
we just went from like, oh my God, we're gonna have to do everything Sunday to like, wait, shit's actually working out. Like this is tight, right?
Mhm.
And the worst thing too, and I said to Austin, I was like, I hate like the pressure. I mean,
Mhm.
I love the pressure. Don't, and I think
That's what you do
that's
best,
why
man.
I'm so last
Yeah.
minute, and that's
Yeah.
why like I've been that my entire life. But I said like, oh man, I was nervous posting things on social media about what we were doing, and the amount of people that were just like, oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to see it. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't even shot anything yet.
Dude, I'm the exact same. If you
I'm
create
like,
that pressure
oh
for yourself,
man.
if you create that pressure, then you force yourself to have to perform.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and that's the whole thing, is like put yourself into uncomfortable situations, and and I mean, we've all been tested, and we know that we can perform in those, but just like continue to put yourself into places that you're not familiar with, and just like
absolutely.
constantly keep testing yourself. That's the only way you're gonna keep your edge, because if you get
Exactly.
comfortable, then it's toast.
Yeah,
So
that's well, and that was I think that was 30 dailies. I was like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah,
I need to just go. Like I need to like do something. I can't just like sit here and just, you know, be comfortable. I want to do those things where it's like I have to make something every day, and guess what? Like whatever I shoot, I'm making. If I sit there
mm-hmm,
and I don't like it, like too bad,
mm-hmm,
because there's like, a few people in the DMs saying, "Hey, looking forward to today's video. It's probably going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it."
yeah.
And I'm like, "What? Like,
I
what do you mean? Oh no."
exactly, and it's like at that point, it's like you're not even, you're doing it for yourself, but even just to see like one other person that's like stoked for you to do something that is pushing
Yeah,
like you to your limit, and then that's probably going to motivate them to be like, okay, look, this guy did that, so I can do that too. And I think that's how
yeah,
a lot of us
100%.
like we look at that. I'm very much that way. If I see someone doing something, I'm like, oh, they did that, I can do that too. I just have to figure out how to do it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Well, and it's nice now, like, for a long time, man, like, there just wasn't resources and there wasn't people, and I was doing it all by myself, and I didn't
mm-hmm.
have other people, and there wasn't really access to other people, and it was like Instagram comes around. I meet people like you, met you at SEMA like
Yeah,
years ago, and I'm like,
yeah,
dude, this guy's car stuff is sick, and then I'm like, I get so pumped about that, and like, we're all out there like showing each other our shots, and like, I don't know, it's just
yeah.
it's too much fun. I really do feel grateful for shit when we're in moments like that. That's when I'm like, yo, this is amazing. Yeah, Jonathan said same way here too, guys. That's how we get to do this stuff. Just keep pushing. Yeah, exactly. You're in the same boat as us, just different business, barely. Honestly, though, I think we do probably just as much marketing, if not more marketing, than we do filming sometimes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan, I appreciate the opportunity. It was such a good experience. Like I said, it was so much fun. We learned a lot. Had a good time. Got some amazing shots. I don't think it honestly couldn't have gotten better. And now we know exactly what we need to do to make sure everything's that much better next time. I mean, I don't even know if anything can get that much better. I gotta stop saying that because now I'm setting the bar so high that like next time Jonathan's like, it's gonna be even more amazing, and he's telling everyone. See, now I'm just setting myself up for more pressure and stress. But fuck it, you know.
It's all right. We got your back.
Yeah, exactly. With boys like this, it's pretty easy. And yeah, I've been doing more like directing and stuff, and oh man, I'm just so stoked on everything now. So, but that was it. That's all the footage. We've seen it all. Jonathan stuck around, thanks, and anyone else who tuned in here and there. And then I'll probably cut this up or keep it up and whatever too. So we'll do more like this. I'll probably live stream more things as we're working on it, and then maybe we can all like, you know, when I have a little bit of structure together, we can get some input, being like, yeah, move this here, do that there, whatever. So
That'd be dope.
yeah. Anything else? I appreciate you boys. I have too much fun. It's hard to call it work, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, it's always fun shooting with you guys. Always. I just
Yeah.
want to say shout out Jonathan again for bringing me on another project. I appreciate it, man. It's always fun. So looking forward to do it again.
Yeah, excited for
Yeah.
the next one.
I'm excited to go back to bed. I'm still tired, honestly,
Yeah.
from the weekend.
Recovery,
So
man.
I'm in recovery mode. It's Wednesday. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I got so much work to do, but
I
all right.
can't
Well, I
afford to sleep
appreciate
right now.
this. Yeah, you can't afford to. Yeah, sleep later. Well, you're young anyway, man. Like, it was fun to watch the project come together. Yeah, no, I really like the way how this whole project worked and like sharing everything and stuff. I think that's the future. So definitely kind of going with that vibe. But well, that's
Yeah.
that. And on that note, I am gonna shut the stream down. Thanks for watching.
Peace, everyone.
All right, peace, guys.
All right, it's off now.
Sick. That was dope. It was good
Oof.
to talk to you guys and go over footage.